Rain down on me. Fill me with your precious Holy Ghost. Rain down on me. Rain down on me. Rain down on me. All right, y'all, we gonna get started. Rain down on me. If y'all want to come on, y'all got questions, please come on. Y'all got comments, we want you to come on and join in on the conversations. Rain down on me. So we want it to rain down on us, right? We're gonna get started with these laws. That takes us about 10 minutes. So if y'all want to come back in and join in on the conversation, we would love for you to. But we're gonna pause and we're gonna start this meeting. Our meetings are to be open and closed promptly according to the Circle 7. And love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Can we all stand as we recite our Moorish American prayer? We turn to the east as going within. So I'm going to sit here and represent going within. We put up 5 fingers on the left, 2 on the right, with our heels touching one another, standing on our square. Repeat after me. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day. Through his holy prophet, Drew Ali. Amen. Islam, Islam. Now, I would like to first rise, giving all highest praises and honor to our Father, God Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Also, Allah, the mother of the virtues and the harmonies of life that breeds justice, mercy, love, and right. Islam. I like to rise, giving the highest holy honors to our noble and illustrious prophet, Prophet Noble Jurali, who brought this message of love. He introduced us to how to proclaim our nationality, how to know about our divine creed. He introduced us to these things. It's up to us to learn them, unfold them, and to become what it actually tells us to be. Islam. I would like to rise and give honors to the forerunner to our prophet, who was like John was to Jesus. And that is our brother, Marcus Mosiah Garvey Bay. We give him his Moorish attributes because he paved the way for our prophet to bring us this message. He paved the way no different than John paved the way for Jesus. He was the forerunner to Jesus. Marcus Garvey is the forerunner to the prophet Noble Drew Ali. Many forerunners come before the prophets come to warn the people of their sinful ways and to help pull them out of these ways of life that they become so indoctrinated to be. A prophet comes to take you out of that. Islam. So that's why we honor Prophet Noble Drew Ali so much, because he came in these days and times, which was in the night. He was born in 1886, but he was born in he brought this up 1913 and went all the way to 1929. But he was only able to really introduce this amazing information to us for the mere few years that he was here before they took his life, like they have done any other leader or any other person that organized well. They take their life. They never give them a day. They never give them a month. You have to ask yourself, well, why they never got a day or month? And they did so much for the people, Islam. So we make sure we give high honors to Prophet Noble Drew Ali, who is the prophet in these days and times, to come and help to uplift humanity, get us up out of the cares of the world, and to help our people go back to thinking for themselves and not allowing others to think for them. So this is a character building movement that he introduced us to, Islam, Islam. And it's important because it touches on our nationality and how to proclaim such. I would like to give honors to all of you, to all the heads of temples, sheikhs, grand governesses, giving honors to each and every one of you that are keeping the doors of the temples open for people to be able to come, commune, and break bread with you. So giving honors to each and every one of you that are doing your part. To the brothers out there dealing with the youth, giving high honors to you. I've seen a brother that has a whole youth program going on, and it's just amazing to see. So, giving honors to all of those that are really doing the work that the prophet laid out, not just sitting on your butts doing nothing. Being active is so amazing to see the Moors be active. So, I'm happy to see more of that going on. I know even more of it will unfold as we continue on. So, honors to each and every one of you. Honors to everyone on these platforms, whether you're on TikTok, StreamYard, or Facebook. Honors to each and every one of you. Islam, Islam. So now for the recitation, which I know some people will be coming in. Recitation of our laws. Islam. So I'm going to do the recitation to our divine laws, our divine constitution and bylaws. Salvation, Allah, unity, the Moorish Science Temple of America, or the Moorish Holy Temple of Science. The divine constitution and bylaws. Act 1. The Grand Sheik and the chairman of the Moorish Science Temple of America is empowered to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body of the Moorish Science Temple of America. The Assistant Grand Sheik is to assist the Grand Sheik in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and it is known before the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Act 2. All meetings are to be opened and closed promptly according to the Circle 7 and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest because on a Friday, the first man was formed in flesh, and on a Friday, the first man departed out of flesh and ascended unto his Father God Allah. For that cause, Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Islam. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. No member is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister because Allah is love. Act 4. All members must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all members must obey the laws of the government, because by being a Moorish American, you are a part and partial of the government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5. This organization of the Moorish Science Temple of America is not to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. Act 6, with us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and partial of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, Black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained noble Drew Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and partial of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, through the guidance of his Father God, Allah. Noble Drew Ali, the founder. The Moorish Science Temple of America, home office of Noble Drew Ali, Chicago, Illinois, USA. Islam. Now for the additional laws for Moorish Americans by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Make sure. Islam. Moorish Science Temple of America. Additional laws for Moorish Americans by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Islam. Act 1. The Grand Sheik is the governing head of our temple. All business of said temple must be approved by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali before being acted upon by any member. Let it be finance, property, or any line of life that will cause this member to sacrifice finance, that will cause the support of any group of members. Any former officers that violates these laws will be subject to be removed from his office under a heavy restriction, etc., by the prophet or the grand sheik. Act 2. All members are to attend their ADAP meetings and their public meetings promptly. If a member is found standing around on their meeting period, shall be fined 50 cents on the first case, and on the second will be fined $1, which will go on your emergency fund. If member is working, his monthly dues must be paid. And if he has money in the bank, he must subscribe for as much as he is able to the Moorish Uplifting Fund, because it takes finance to uplift the nation. Act 3. It is the lawful and divine duty of every good member, if he is able in finance, to aid me in saving the nation. And if he does not, he is an enemy to the cause of uplifting his own people, and justice must catch you. Let it be he or she, according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, as I have the power invested in my hands, and I will have to enforce the law in order to save the nation. Act 4. All members, while up making a public speech, must not use any assertion against the American flag or speak radical against the church or any member of any organized group, because we are to teach love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Act 5. All members must promptly attend their meetings and send their children to Sunday school, and the teacher must confirm himself to the questionnaire, and let every member exercise his five senses who is able to do so, because out from your Sunday school comes the guiders of the nation. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and partial of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, Black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained noble Drew Ali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and partial of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, through the guidance of his father God, Allah, Islam. Islam, Islam. I'm waiting for my people to come in. I don't know where they are, but we're going to get started. How y'all doing today? Let's see. I don't know. I'm hoping I can see them in the back. We're going to see if someone's in the chat. Nobody's in there. Okay. Guys, I'm back. I'm back. Got dropped because I was trying to check the chat. I'm trying to see who's coming in, if anyone is coming in at this time. But okay, comments are there. We will see. I trust everyone's doing well today. How are you guys today? Happy Sunday. Sunday school. Out from your Sunday school comes the guiders of the nation, and that's literally speaking. So I know that we have to confirm ourselves to the questionnaire. And the title of our um, demonstration today is, what is Negro? What is Black? What is colored? What are all these things y'all hear us see? What is Black, Negro, and colored? What is this energy we're feeling? And have you felt the shift? What does this shift feel like to you right now? Because it's been a major shift that has went on. House full now. Okay, it's okay. It's a shift that's gone on today. You know, that's been going on, period. We're gonna say it's been going on. But if you have been noticing anything different, like your sleeping patterns, a lot is off, right? So it's a lot going on in the energy. Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, so we're gonna get into this because this DEI thing is a big thing. We need to know where that comes from. Just a lot that's going on, so we could get a better understanding of where we need to be positioned instead of sitting around here complaining about everything. But really, where what do we need to be doing, and how this is really benefiting us? If it's not benefiting you, I don't really know why it's not benefiting you. But oh, are you serious? Oh wow. Oh, okay. So yes, so this is what's going on. Um, I think social media got hot on them. It done got real hot on them. Did they get hot on them? Wait a minute. Let me see. We're gonna see. I don't know what's going on over here. Okay. So I was waiting on the two co-hosts to come in, but it seemed like something's going on. So once again, we're just gonna rock this thing out and go by it the best way we can, best way possible, right? So trying to make sure nobody comes in while my head is down because they might be good for that one. Let's see, is this thing even doing anything? Interesting. I want to know if anyone can see or hear anything from over here because it just all of a sudden said something that it never said before. Let's see. We're gonna see what this said because it says something. Something popped up on here on Meta on Facebook. Let's see what it said, y'all. 'Cause it's saying something. Hmm. Oh no, it's not. I don't know what that was. Yeah, it was saying something. It was really saying something. So there it goes. Okay, there it goes. So we're gonna talk about us. Why these things that are going on are so important. I'm gonna do my best not to be in different places because I was expecting the two people to come on for this demonstration. So I'm not gonna be all over the place, but I might touch on some topics here and there, that might feel like we're veering off. But the first place I want to go is into our one-on-ones because in Sunday school we have to confirm ourselves to our one-on-ones, and the one-on-ones are these are 101 questions. Quest I'm on and it has 101 responses to it. So I wanted to talk about these five grosser energies that we deal with in each and every one of us. It's a grosser energy we deal with. You could call it from a SAR, a set, Nebathet, you could call them all these. But they are we have the grossest, lowest energy also in human existence that make up our psyche. And it's in our personality. And in our personalities have these gross divinities in them. And in our one-on-ones, it speaks on these gross divinities that's in each and every one of us, your lower self, whether you want to admit it or not, whether it's a good part of it or a bad part of it. It's all up to you. But we're going to come into our one-on-ones. And I'm going to start at question 57. I'm going to go through these 50 something questions and answers because that's going to help us go into our demonstration today. So remember, this is the personality. Your personality is composed of these five grossest divinities, Islam. So I'm going to name them when I get to them and then come back to that. So we're going to say 57. Who were Adam and Eve? They are the mothers and fathers of the human family, Asiatics and Muslims. 58, where did they go? They went into Asia. 59, what is the modern name given to the children? Asiatics. 60, who is guarding the holy city of Mecca today to keep the unbelievers away? Angels. What is the modern name for these angels? Asiatics. What is the shade of their skin? Olive. Are the Moorish Americans any relation to those angels? Yes. We all have the same father and mother. Give 5 names that are given to the descendants of Adam and Eve. Lucifer, Satan, devil, dragon, and beast. Descendants, descend, a part of your personality. These descend out of your personalities. Whether you use them in whatever way, evil way, good, whatever you use them in, they're still a part of who you are. That doesn't discount it. It's still in you. So the God self is there inside of you in your higher self, but also these grossest extremities are in you also, which are what it breeds. This is why this is why we're talking about what is black, what is Negro, and what is colored. What is any of these, Ethiopian, any of that? What are these energies we're dealing with? Because you're going to start seeing them more and more so that you can actually relate to what is being said here when it comes to energy and how people are acting. So the 5 names that are given to the descendants are Lucifer, Satan, devil, dragon, and beast. What is the devil sometimes called? The lower self. How many selves are there? There's 2. Name them, the higher self and the lower self. 68. What people represent the higher self? The angels who protect the holy city of Mecca. 69. What people represent the lower self? Those who were cast out of the holy city and those who accept their teachings. What teachings are you accepting? Because we're these same angels, we're these same Asiatics. We're supposed to be protecting the holy city of Mecca to keep the unbelievers away. Is that who's protecting the holy city? I'm trusting that's who's protecting it. 70. What is the higher self? The higher self is the mother of the virtues and the harmonies of life and breeds justice, mercy, love, and rights. 71. Can the higher self pass away? Islam. Yes, Brother Will. Lucifer is the light bearer, the carrier of light. Satan is 666, 6 protons, 6 neutrons, 6 electrons. Carbon, which we are still that. We're 6 protons, 6 electrons, 6 neutrons. But this is where we're going to talk about these energies where you're looking at them from this evil place, I guess you could say, Mr. Will. But as you see what is here, it don't necessarily mean that if that's what you feel it means, but that doesn't necessarily mean that that's what that means. I feel it's the energy that you're placing on these entities or these divinities. It's the energy within you that drives these forces. Islam. Can the higher self pass away? No. Why? Because it is Allah in man. 73. What does the lower self breed? Hatred, slander, lewdness, murders, theft, and everything that harms. What did the higher self say to the lower self at one time when he met Satan? Where are you going, Satan? 75. What was the answer the lower self gave to the higher self? I am going to and fro the earth to seek who I may devour. So going to and fro within you to see who that entity may devour within you. Who can I devour within this person? I probably got more control of this person than this person has over themselves. Has he finished his task of devouring? That's 76. Yes. 77. When was his time declared out? When he nailed Jesus to the cross. 78. What were the last words Jesus uttered? It is finished. What did he have reference to? He had reference to the end of Satan. Did Jesus say that he would return to conquer him? Yes. What is the first name of the person? What is the name of the person into whom Jesus was first reincarnated? Prophet Muhammad, the conqueror. Was Satan to be bound then? Satan was to be bound in part. 83. When was the head of Satan taken off? In 1453 Byzantine. By whom? By Muhammad. Byzantine, or however you say it, is an empire. Name some of the marks that were put upon the Moors of Northwest by the European nations in 1774. Negro, black, colored, and Ethiopian. Those are the marks that were put upon us. So even when I hear people say, well, the Moors this, the Moors that, these are still things they put upon us. We're still those people, but they still put marks upon us that put us in this Negro, black, colored, and Ethiopian status. That really takes us away from rightfully who we are, takes our birthrights completely away from us. 86, what is meant by the word Negro? Negro, a name given to a river in West Africa by the Moors because it contains black water. 87, what is it meant by the word black? Black, according to science, means death. 88, what does the word colored mean? Colored means anything that has been painted, stained, varnished, or dyed. So when you hear me saying what these things mean, because in science, black means death. It does. You go get a piece of bread and let it mold, it's going to turn black. Anything that, even a potato, the oxidation hits it, it starts to turn brown until it turns black, because in science, black means death. So the labels and the titles and these words that they put upon us, that's why when you go before people, that's how they look at you as, because they're coming from a science point of view. Forget what you're talking about. Scientifically, this is what it's saying. So to them, in front of them, you consider to be such. Colored meaning anything that has been painted, stained, varnished, or dyed. Have you been painted? Have you been stained? Have you been varnished or dyed? So you can't be a colored person. Now remember, they've called us this through time. What does Ethiopian mean? Ethiopia means something divided. 90. Can a man be a Negro, black, colored, or Ethiopian? No. Why? Because man is made in the image and after the likeness of God Allah. What title does Satan give himself? God. Yes, you're right. You're so right. Will you define the word white? White means purity. Purity means God, and God means the ruler of the land. So when people say, when I say you're calling them God, they say, no, I'm not. How you gonna say I'm calling them God? Because what does white mean? White means purity. You're saying they're pure? Purity means God. Are you saying they're gods? Because right there it says purity means God. So when you say white, you're giving them that they're pure, that they're gods, and that they're the rulers of the land. Because God means the ruler of the land, rulers of the land, ruler of the land, excuse me. So, like, no matter what, even from different perspectives, black is absorbing of, yes, we understand that black is, that's true, but a person can't be that. This is what we're saying. A person can't be that. And as long as you hold on to that, with what's going on now, black ain't about to get nobody nowhere. So that sounds great in perspective of what we know, that with black, everything comes out of it. Of course it does. I'm a cosmetologist. In hair school, we know that the color wheel, black in the middle, everything derives out of it. But we're not that. We're not that. I'm not. So we're not that. So we have to stop labeling ourselves as such. Because white means purity. You call them, are they pure to you? Exactly. Yes, we are in it. We definitely are. But we could be all that. But we have to be right here on this plane. So what are we going to do while we're right here? If we don't know who we are, all that is out the door. That's for some of us that understand that. Like you said, everyone's perspective, respectively, is not the same. Our perceptions are different. But at the end of the day, truth never changes or passes away. So perception and truth Hey, truth never changes or passes away. It never changes, guys. No matter what. Because as I tell you what these when we get into what these citizens are, then you're gonna wonder why you have to proclaim your nationality. Or you gonna be on the mass deportation train with everybody else. No, man is not the body, nor the soul. Man is spirit and a part of Allah. So they place that on the body. They place these names and labels on the body. They really snatch the soul from the people because the soul has actions. It's thinking, understanding, reasoning, and willing. Those are the actions of the soul, not the essence. And most people aren't even thinking for themselves. So the soul they ain't even attached to. They're allowing someone else to navigate their soul's purpose, to navigate what their soul should be doing. Because even in a fool, the bosom of a fool, the soul is perfect. So no, man, it's not the body. You're so right, Mr. Wills. Not at all. To whom do we refer to at times being the great God? Allah. 95. Is the devil made in the image and likeness of Allah? No. He is the shadow of our lower selves, the shadow of our lower selves, and will pass away. 96. Who made the devil? Elohim. 97. Who is Elohim? Elohim is the seven creative spirits that created everything that was, is, and ever more to be. 98. What is Elohim sometimes called? The seven eyes of Allah. Islam, Sister Sakina, Islam. How many days are in the circle? 7 days. How many days are in a creation? 7 days. How many days, according to science, how many days are in a year? 7 days. These are from the 101s to help take us back so we can remember Islam, Sister Sakina, so we can remember who we are. We're remembering, not a wake up, we're remembering. We're actually remembering who we are and who we belong to. So I wanted to come out of the 101s because it's important for us to understand that our personality and what we're more in tune and can drive is our personality, but we can't use these grosser divinities in the negative. Man, it's so hard to say negative and positive at this point because it's so crazy when you think about the two. But we have to learn how to use these things in a different manner, not for the evil and the things that people use them for. Because the Elohim is that this Allah too. These are seven eyes of Allah. So that is everything that is, was, and ever more to be. The Elohim. So those energies come with all of that. But how do we maintain self, and how do we stay in our higher self, even as much as our lower self wants to rise up in us? How are we able to do that? We got to change our thought process. We got to change the way we're thinking, the way we're moving, the way we're living, the way we treat ourselves. So I look at us as our roots are all up in the sky like this, right? And we're the branches hanging down from this part. Trying to learn how to crawl back to our roots, get back up to where our roots are, to remember them, to go back up to our roots, to climb up to our roots, to get it so we can not be upside down as we are in our head, because all the BS goes to our head. Yes, reprogramming of our minds. We got to reprogram our minds. But it takes us to do this. It takes us to do this. You know, there's 3 realms of existence. There's the earth, the soul, and the spirit. You can even go ether even higher than that, right? So we could even say 4 if you want to put 4, but 3, you can put the spirit and ether together if you would like to. And we have to battle all these different rims that we're on. Like, these are tests, and we have foes on each of these rims. Once we get to that soul plane, man, we have unnumbered foes we got to fight. Unnumbered. So with the things that are going on today, this is why it's important that we are in touch with nationality. our nationality and our divine creed. Because without your divine creed, without that, your nationality means nothing. Because you need to know how to demonstrate your nationality, how to come at people. You're not coming angry and all of these chaotic ways, like learning how to speak. The prophet teaches you how to speak, how to go ask in an intelligent tone. You know what I'm saying? So that you can get a favorable reply. Um, so he teaches us all of these things in this in our Holy Quran of the Moorish Holy Temple of Science or the Moorish Science Temple of America, however you want to put it. So I wanted to know, I want us to go into this because, hold on. Let me go to, I want to tell you because out of the Black's Law Dictionary, right? We have Islam, hi. We have out of Carol Haley, hey, Islam. So out of the Black's Law Dictionary, I want to know what a first class citizen is because I know I'm a first class citizen. When I proclaimed my nationality, it put me back in a first class citizen status. So when I hear people say, "Oh, you don't want to do that because you put yourself back into the this and that," this is our government. And we're supposed to abide by the laws of the government, whether it's the said government, whether it's the government, our government. We're supposed to abide by these rules and laws. So no matter how you feel about it, it is what it is. This is how you keep yourself out of stuff. This is how you keep yourself protected, right? So according to Black's Law Dictionary, a first-class citizen is someone who, under the Constitution and laws of the United States, or of a particular state, is a member of the political community, owning allegiance and being entitled to the enjoyment of full civil rights. That's a first class citizen, y'all. Second class don't get all this. Second class don't get this. So that's the difference between nationality and naturalization. As a nation, as a nationality, proclaiming your nationality gives you first class citizenship. And it helps you, and that's where the Constitution stands for you. What goes against universal law? What goes against universal law? Because we're still right here. We're still here. Tell me how we're supposed to how we're supposed to move it.
He's
Because
gonna
we're
screen
still
your
right here. We
phone
still have to
calls.
abide by these laws.
He screen them anyway.
Islam.
Yeah.
No, I don't, Mama. Every time you call me, I
Islam.
call you right back.
Oh
Don't I?
my.
Yeah,
We don't. Okay. So that goes against universal law. Tell me what goes against universal law when you're saying that. What goes against it? Because we have to abide by the laws of the Constitution, of the said government and all that. And it has not, I'm going to be honest, with me doing what I've been instructed to do on all aspects, it hasn't failed me yet. But of course, I'm not out here attempting to do none of that, break no laws or none of that. So I'm not looking for an excuse because I'm not out here doing that. So I'd like to know when you say that, what's that mean? Because I also want to go to according to what a second class citizen is. What is a second class citizen? I'm gonna read this to you too. Because most people say I'm not gonna be a citizen, so then they're gonna still mark you as something because you didn't proclaim yourself. So when you don't proclaim your nationality, you're a second class citizen. A second class citizen is someone who is systematically and actively discriminated against within a state or other political jurisdiction, despite their nominal status as a citizen or legal resident there. This discrimination results in significantly limited legal rights, civil rights, and social economic opportunities. Right. Okay. So I can tell you what nationality means. Nationality is the quality and the character of a person belonging to a nation, and also has something to do with their political. Let me give it to you the right way because I'm saying it too fast. Sister Vashira, are you ready? Let me see if she's ready. Islam, Sister V.
At a house.
Sister Bashira. Sister Bashira.
Yeah.
Sister V.
Yeah.
No, that's not Sister Bashira. You're on a live, so I need you to handle yourself professionally. Okay. I'm waiting. Sister Bashira, are you going to speak?
Can you?
Okay. Huh? What'd you say? Okay, that means that stuff. So on a he asked for the definition of nationality. So nationality is the quality or character which arises from the fact of a person belonging to a nation or a state, and it determines the political status of an individual, especially in terms of allegiance to the country. Nationality can be acquired either by birth or through naturalization. So nationality. Okay, I understand that. I do get that. But we still are here. And what are we going to do being here? That's what I'm asking. What are we doing? That sounds all great from a cosmo level, from that mysticism. But what are we going to do now? Because our people, everybody ain't there. Everybody is not there. It's not division. That's not division. It's not. How can you say that that's division? Okay, it's division. So now we're in a time where they are taking people to wherever they come from, whatever that might be. So when they run up on you, what they gonna ask you what your nationality is? Mr. Hardy, they're gonna ask you that. So if you say black, there's no land that belongs to black people. So where they gonna put you? You have to know how to answer. I get that, but it's still a separation going on. And you're still physically here. So how do you move? How do you move in what's going on now? How do you see what's really for you? What benefits are for you instead of you always looking for a separation? That's our people's problem. They're always looking for the separation instead of learning what's going on. That's why I say when you say that you don't do politics and religion is the most craziest thing for me because that rules your life every day. Every day. Every single day. Um, so that's what nationality is. Quality or character, which arises from the fact of a person belonging to a nation. Your quality, your character is going to show it. You see every other nation, ain't nothing about being separate. When I see my Muslim sisters of the nation, that's not being separate to me. I see my Muslim sisters over in the other countries, that's not necessarily separate to me. They might wear a hijab while I wear a turban, but that doesn't make anything separate. We still understand Islam. So what do you mean? But they're still proud of the nation they come from. Germans are proud that they're from Germany. That's their nation. That's their nationality. A nation, a nationality. How is that separation? It's always a separation when we decide who we are and we know who we are and we're ready to step up to the plate. We still have to learn who we are, Mr. Hardy. Everybody else is proud of their nation. Everybody else got race pride but our people because they don't know it. The human race is the only race there is. So explain to me how you create a whole when our people are still out here acting Negro, black, and colored on every level. I can give you a few things yesterday that happened. So what I'm talking about, they're separating themselves. The energy separates itself. So if you want to dabble and constantly be Negro, black, colored, and all that, and you can be all that on your own. You can be all that on your own. But we're not that's not a nation of people. It's not a nation of people at all. That's not what a nation is. Islam? I have two people in. Greetings, Noble. Greetings, Islam Sister Bashira.
Islam. How's everybody doing?
Good, good, good. We're just talking on nationality, what we had spoke on that we were going to come and demonstrate on. And I was just going into what nationality means. Now I'm about to go into what naturalization means. What a first class citizen means to a second class citizen. Like, why do we proclaim our nationality? Someone in the chat said we're just constantly creating separatism. But every other nation can be proud of where they come from. Every other race can be proud of their race and have race pride. But as soon as the Asiatics of America, as soon as the Muslims of America decide we want race pride, we're creating separatism. Islam?
Islam. So she said it's separate.
He
It's
says it's
the
separate
proclaim.
existence as a nation. Nationality is a separate existence as a nation.
I feel no, because whenever we speak about when we're talking about nationality, it's giving us our it's a birthright. It's us tracing our steps back, which each person should be able to do so to be considered to be a whole man, a whole woman. You have to have your wholeness, and part of that, what the prophet brought is it's a divine and national. So it's not separate because spiritually we're all spirit man, we're all infinite beings, but we also have our own um, religious religious belief, and that is what's going to give us our wholeness. That's the national part of the Moorish Science Temple of America. That's what the prophet is brought back to us. So it shouldn't be an issue for any of us to redeem what we lost, because we lost that. You know what I'm saying? So we have to go through all the above statements that he put, all the literature, in order for us to proclaim our free national name, because to be recognized in this free national constitution, we have to be equal because they have their rights. So why shouldn't we?
Right. Because then that means people still want to keep us as classified as slaves.
Yeah, because it says the Italians, the Greeks, English, Chinese, Japanese, Turks, they were all forced to proclaim their free national name and religion before the constitutional government of the United States of America. So it's
Facts.
no more than the right that the law should be enforced on all other American citizens that's alike. In all other governments, when a man is born and raised there and asks for his national descent name, and if he fails to give it, you're misusing. You get misused. You get in prison. You delude
Mistreatment.
yourself from your rights. So
It gives
the
you
standards,
mistreatment that the citizens decide to bestow upon you when you don't
yeah,
proclaim a
so you must
nationality.
claim it, because it places their trust upon the issues and the names formed by our forefathers. Tracing ourselves back of what on this land,
Hmm. So
so
when
we
you
can
say we're lords
receive
of the
economic
earth,
growth.
this
Huh?
will say we're lords of the earth, but our body,
Mm-hmm.
we are lords of this earth, of this, because our body's made up of the same thing the earth is made up of. So we are lords. We are lords of the earth. We were given dominion over this place. But we're not gonna, when everyone else can say, hey, my nation is Germany and I'm a German as my nationality. Why is it okay for them to do that and it's not all right for us? That's not putting nothing separate. They're just saying they're proud to be where they're from and they're proclaiming it. And when they come here and they're doing it legally, they have to take a test. They have to prove that they know the stuff. They have to read the Constitution, something our people right here on this land don't do. 98% of Americans ain't never read no Constitution. And I've sat next to someone on a plane. When I talk about he was for some agriculture scientist sitting on the plane with him while I was reading my Constitution. He said, "Wow, you're reading the Constitution. This is now, mind you, this is a Caucasian." He said, 98% of America ain't never read that. Like he even saying that for himself. Like you sitting here reading it, and I ain't even read it. So when we ain't even read the Constitution to see what's in it, but we just jump in because we get emotions off of things that are coming on TV. We're just emotionally driven. You never really been into politics. Most people haven't, from what they say. I'm gonna keep saying I come from Colorado. They gonna keep you in some politics, honey. From the time you enter school, you gonna learn about politics. Islam, Sister Shara, would you like to say anything else?
No, I mean, just coming back off of what you said, that's the lack of knowledge that a lot of our people don't know. You know, man knows not by being told. So you don't know. You just know what someone's told you. So how do you honestly know the truth of what is pertaining to you? You know what I'm saying? What your true status is, your involvement with your inheritance. You know what I'm saying? That's been established ages ago that we have not, we don't know any knowledge of it. Well, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I do now, but a lot of us don't know any knowledge to our heritage or
Right.
about our ancient foremothers and forefathers. So because the history has really been reconstructed, so they hid it, but
Mm-hmm.
you can't change the truth. You know what I'm saying? You have to let the knowledge and your consciousness be at that foundation of your thought process at all times. So when you keep your mind clear and free from the thought process of the European, the inclusion of their psychology, you know what I'm saying? You could restore yourself to receive that knowledge about your inherited lands, because it
Mm-hmm.
tells us in the meaning of a maxim, which is also chapter, what is that, 47 or 46, the dominion of Africa. It tells us all of
Mm-hmm.
that helps us trace ourselves back in order for us to, yeah,
Can
like
you
it's
read it,
Egypt
sir?
the
You
capital.
said 47. Can you read it to
Yeah, the
us?
Egypt the capital empire. I got it right here. Okay, so
Okay.
it says the inhabitants of Africa are the descendants of the ancient Canaanites from the land of Canaan. Old man Cush and his family are the first inhabitants of Africa who came from the land of Canaan. His father
Uh-huh.
Ham and his family were second. Then came the word Ethiopia, which means the demarcation line of the dominion of the Mexim, the first true and divine name of Africa, the dividing of the land between the Father and the Son. The dominion of Cush, northeast and southeast Africa, and northwest and southwest was his father's dominion of Africa. So that, like, four right there, it says it.
Mm-hmm.
Northwest and southwest was his father's dominion of Africa, the dominion of Cush. So in later years, many of their brethren from Asia and the Holy Lands, they joined them. The Moabites from the land of Moab, who received permission from the pharaohs of Egypt to settle and inhabit northwest Africa, they were the founders and are the true possessors of the present Moroccan Empire, with their Canaanite, Hittite, and Amorite brethren who sojourned from the land of Canaan seeking new homes. And their dominion and inhabitation extended from northeast and southwest Africa across the great Atlantis, even until the present North, South, and Central America, and also Mexico and the Atlantis Islands before the great earthquake, which caused the great Atlantic Ocean. The river Nile was dredged and made by the ancient pharaohs of Egypt in order to trade with the surrounding kingdoms. Also, the Niger River was dredged by the great pharaohs of Egypt in those ancient days for trade, and it extends eastward from the river Nile, westward across the great Atlantic, and it was used for trade and transportation. According to all true and divine records of the human race, there is no Negro, black, or colored race attached to the human family, because all the inhabitants of Africa were and are the human race, descendants of the ancient Canaanite nations from the holy land of Canaan. What
Islam.
your
Can I
ancient
finish right there?
forefathers, right there,
Mhm.
yeah,
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Finish that one, and
okay,
then
okay. It says what your ancient forefathers were, you are today, without doubt or contradiction.
Islam. So I want to
Hmm.
make a point right here where it says where it says, according to all true and divine records of the human race, there is no Negro, Black, or colored race attached to the human family because all the inhabitants of Africa were and are of the human race. As I say, race pride, human race is the only race there is. But as soon as we want to
Mm-hmm.
have some race pride for us, it's a problem. So Africa, Tira, which means earth, this is what I've been trying to explain, is that there is no separation. Well, yeah,
There is
even
no
no,
separation.
you're not separating it. Like she just said, if you go into this chapter, there's no separation. This is Northwest Africa, where you're if you're on this side of this, if you're on this side, this is still Northwest Africa and Southwest, both ways. You're still sitting on it. So it ain't separated. It's only separated due to what she explained when she said the splitting of the Great Atlantic and all of that. Is the Nile being dredged? Like here comes the separation. But we're not separate. We're only separate because that's what we're allowing them to make us think we are from their lens and from their perception.
But you can
Is
go
all.
back before the land was even separated. You understand what I'm saying? It
Mm-hmm.
was one landmass. So that's not there wasn't a separation.
Never a separation, right? Only due to the what do you say, to Mother Nature and the Mother Nature and her, the weather. We would
Yeah, I was gonna
say
say it's
is the
nature.
only
It's
reason.
yeah, exactly.
It's the only reason, right? So then, yeah, there's no separation. We're not saying that, but we still have to learn from this side who we really are. We still ain't even in tune with that to be talking about that stuff. We got to get this part because proclaiming our nationality right now is more important than anything at this moment. When you see what's going on and they get going in barbershops and other places, could you imagine? Could you imagine they run up on our people and they have no idea because we all start looking alike after a minute. Mexicans look like everybody looks like us. So don't think you are like because you here and you look like an American and you walk like an American that they might not run up on you and ask you what your nationality is. And will you be able to even answer in an intelligent tone and also answer without being angry? Because people think once they get this information, you can just go be angry at folks. And you're going to get the same reply back, an angry reply. That's why we don't do that. We come from a place of love, period.
Yep.
Do you want to continue or you want to mark on camel back on something else? I just wanted to make a
No,
point.
I mean it said no. I was just speaking on the nationality. She said why divide just to give whoever I don't know who said that to let them know like this is like through the sin. This is where the national and divine comes into one. Where because it was the sin lies is that we were disobedient to where we had start to suffer within slavery due to the fact that it says in 16 they honored not the creed and the principles of their forefathers. And so by us may not intentionally not honor, a lot of ones did not know who our forefathers were. So that's why it's very detriment that you do trace yourselves back on who you are. It's based off a lot of us ones we do not know who we are. We have to start to remember who we are. So that's why it's important when it says in Acts 6, with us all members must proclaim their nationality, and we're teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed that they may know that they are part and parcel of this said government and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians. Because them was names given to us, was given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779. And it lasted until 1865 and during the time of slavery. But this is a new era in time now. And I think the time now, I'm just going to stop right there. But I just feel like the time now is just like with everything going on because how Trump then got into office and he didn't pick this pen up and he ain't put this pen down since he got in office. So if you wasn't ready, I don't know if you're able to get
Get
ready
ready.
right now. You should have been ready. You know what I'm saying? Because should have been ready.
I said the fire. What
Stay
I say, the
ready.
prophet standing in front of that fire, but he gonna let it loose, and no matter what, because he brought these lessons, you supposed to unfold them. You're supposed to unfold them.
That's why know thyself and thy father got out loud that you must know. Like that's what this whole thing about. I mean, I want to say the spiritual aspect. You have to have spirituality and everything because our divine covenant says, under the covenant, like love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and to create their own laws and customs in conjunction with laws of the Holy Prophet. We have to be in accordance with our covenant, and that's one true covenant we have to have in order for us to worship under our own divine fig tree amongst ourselves as a nation, to be recognized as a government. So
Mm-hmm.
these
You say,
lessons that be given to us need to be taught properly, as far as trying to get us to become a government in a nation. Like, everyone needs to be trying to be on one accord with learning, like actually learning and unfolding with these lessons.
yeah,
The
not just
prophet,
saying it. Go
yeah, the
ahead.
prophet didn't give us this work for nothing.
To just be
Just
yelling it
like
on the
they said, yeah,
streets.
just like they said, Jesus didn't leave the Bible, so they say, for nothing. You know what I mean? So,
Mm-hmm.
like, what are we doing? So, I think that the definitions you were given, you said second class citizens. I heard that earlier.
Yes.
Second, if you're claiming any of them, you're considered a second class citizen, correct?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. Okay, so Mr. Will says okay, I'm gonna say two things. She came more space said there is only but one human race, but it is subdivided into two distinctive species, Asiatics and Europeans.
Mm,
Yeah. But still
but
we I'm still going.
hey, when we were talking Europeans,
Yeah,
what Europeans,
that don't exclude us.
what Europeans are you speaking of? Because at one point we ruled Europe too. We was there
What
too.
European are you speaking of? That's what I be saying too. What European? Because we them too. We them too. We them too. As much as we don't want to have this conversation, we are them too. So that's
So
where it kills me.
that's why it's still only one human race, because we are, we're them,
We them
but they're not
too.
like us.
They're not like us,
That's
but
how I
we them
see
too. And so, brother Will says to proclaim your nationality is just to announce publicly. When you say that, to announce publicly, so
it.
what are you standing on some steps and yelling it? How are you announcing that publicly? I would like to know. Because the way I was given instruction to, baby, it'll blow your mind. It'll blow your whole
No,
mind.
when you proclaim your nationality, that's for your own salvation. When you're proclaiming your nationality within the temple. Now, if you're going through the works and the literature and have been taught how to put yourself and put the government on notice, that's a whole nother demonstration.
Mm-hmm.
You gave me a demonstration. I've seen so many different demonstrations. So I'm, taking
Mm-hmm.
upon myself to where I'm trying to learn within. That's where it goes upon. You got to go back to where you live at. I guess the jurisdiction of where I was born at, in order for them
Mm-hmm.
to put the government on notice to get
Yes.
everything switched over. But
Yes.
publicly is just when the ceremonies that, this is just my understanding, the ceremony you have with the Grand Sheik, with your Grand Sheik, with your temple, and you receive your nationality card. You're proclaiming your nationality. It's proclaiming. You proclaim it. So once you proclaim it, after that, you need to go claim it and take it.
Mm,
You know what I'm saying?
mm. Come on.
You got to look at the words. It's proclaim your nationality. So that's for our salvation. So in order for us to have salvation amongst this earthly land, And to reach, paradise now and in the hereafter, we have to go and claim and take back what is rightfully ours. But proclaiming it, yes, you do it publicly within whoever you want to have in your circle. I mean, amongst the temple. That's how I was taught. It may be different for different ones, but I was taught proclaiming your nationality is when you are going to the temple. Or, I mean, even if you don't want to go this route, proclaiming your nationality is going in front of, like, I don't know, a judge. I don't know how you would do that. I don't know. I don't know too much about that part. But I'm just saying, like, going into how I learned, you just proclaiming it by going in the temple, you proclaiming your nationality. It's like taking your shahada. You know what I'm saying?
Be what
It's
you know.
demonstrating your faith. Yeah, you demonstrating your faith.
Be what you
in
know.
the law
So
and putting you back
yes,
into
Brother
law.
Will. So you got to be what you know, Brother Will. If that's what you are, then be what you know you are, and you must walk in that and be that. That's why we have a 3-step ladder in the Moorish Science Temple. Its belief is the first step. That's what perhaps man thinks is the truth. He don't even know it's the truth. He just thinks it's the truth because somebody might have told him that. The second step is faith. That's the surety. That's you knowing. Like you know you and Allah are one. Your fruition is being that surety, being that faith. So if you are that, if that's your faith walk and that's what you are, walk in that and be that. Show up as just that, as no separation. So when you show up, people can see what that looks like. I proclaimed my nationality, not only through the temple, but I also went to the courthouse and put them on notice. And it went through the whole entire system, whether it's the federal, the state, everybody was put on notice, and I'm grateful for it because it's been good to me. It's been good to me for me to be able to show that in certain spaces and places, and the respect that's given because they see the turban with the pen, because they see the last name on there. They know that I know who I am, and I'm not walking in here just looking like that, just looking the part, but actually showing up as that. What do you say?
What did he say?
Okay, hold on. Legal civility more. Notice to agent is notice to principal, and notice to principal is notice to agent. Now that's our brother Noble. He's speaking more from a law perspective. So I might need that a little broken down a little bit to me better. Proclaiming to announce publicly
An
according
agent?
to the. Well, no, that's what brother Noble was saying. I think he's getting something done right now, so he can't speak, but he's right there. But Brother Will said proclaim means to announce publicly according to the temple. Okay. All right. What'd you say, brother? Oh, okay. He didn't say nothing else.
So Act 6 is telling you exactly how to proclaim your nationality. That's Act 6 is telling you how to proclaim your nationality and why we're proclaiming our nationality. And it says it didn't just say with us. It said with us, all members must proclaim their nationality. So you proclaim your nationality, and what the temple is also supposed to be doing is teaching our people their nationality and their creed that they may know. So if we have to be taught. So if you're not being taught that, you just proclaiming your nationality, but you're not actually being taught what will it do for you by just proclaiming your nationality? Because you have to go and claim it. You have to be taught how to claim it and take it back and put the government on notice. So when you did yours, how long did it take you to be taught? Like, what are the steps that you had to go through for you to actually go and claim your nationality and put your government on notice?
So what I had to do, first of all, I had to go back home where I was born, Colorado.
Right.
I had to follow the laws of the state when it comes to proclaiming and changing my name. Now, when I go in there, I'm following what they're telling me. So I'm following the rules. Okay, we need fingerprints from FBI. We need fingerprints from CBI. We need this. We need that. This is what we need. Okay. And every time I would go, I told you the judge would always say, dang, Tell me why you changing your name. Because it was my ancestor's name before slavery. She said, you did your homework. This is a doggone
He
Caucasian
said
woman
he asked you
saying,
why was you changing it?
yeah, because that's what it says on the paper. It says,
Okay.
why are you changing your name? So every state might be different. So my teacher, Brother John Keenan Bay, which his teacher was taught specifically by the prophet, the founder, and the
Mm-hmm.
reincarnated prophet, gave me the way to do it. Asking in an intelligent tone, no different than the prophet tells you in the literature, how you go down to City Hall, asking in an intelligent tone,
Yep.
and they'll be happy to give you a favorable reply. That's all I ever got. I didn't get the you were this and you, I didn't get none of that backlash. Because I went in there with an intelligent tone and I did everything that was asked of me. As I said, I haven't no problems with me. So whether I come into contact with an officer or whatever, the respect that's given to me is a lot different. I don't know how other people come with them, but I don't have a record. I don't have any of that. So it's no reason for me to feel offended by them or scared of them, or for them to feel offended or scared of me because of the way I show up. I'm going to speak I'm going to speak in an intelligent tone to you. And
In
I
an
know that
intelligent
me being
tone.
a God,
Mm-hmm.
I must present myself as a God in that way. Gods don't show up being ignorant and chaotic. God show up they can show up with humility. So that's how it worked for me. Every state is different. That's why everyone has to go to their state where they were born to find out how that works. Because some of these states, the Moors have ran them so ragged that they ain't thinking about nobody coming to do none of that. Because it's been done so wrong. And it's been done in a chaotic way where they're attacking them and not doing it in an intelligent way.
That's where it goes. I really can't get. I want to say that's that radical sovereignty.
That
You have
we
to
don't
go back.
do.
You have to go back to the Constitution. I was just speaking about this last night. I think because I was reading something and I was just trying to get understanding. I mean, they were talking about what were we talking about? Sharia law in the
Mm-hmm,
Constitution, or
mm-hmm,
just any what Muslims do, or how Muslims they are perceived in America, and they were asking a question: do they think Sharia law precedes the Constitution? And it was ones on there that was like, yes, that it does, because the Sharia law was, from um Allah, the message that he gave to Prophet Muhammad, may peace be upon him, and he brought that law to his people, to that nation. But but we're in this land, but it also states when it comes to Sharia law that whatever land that you're on, how I'm gonna put this, whatever land that you live in, you have to abide by their laws. That's a part of
mm-hmm.
the Sharia law. So it just kind of came to me when the prophet, this part and partial, and how we're still supposed to be abiding law citizens, but we still have our the Islamic creed that we're supposed to be going by, but we still have to be. She keep my door, keep going. We still have to be law abiding citizens here. We still have to go
Period.
by their laws. This is the law here
Wow.
that was set out. So you can't go out and just actually do your own thing any way you want it. You have to go by what is in the Constitution and what's stated. That's the law that they go. That's the free national Constitution. So we have to go by that. That's where the part and partial comes in. It's not excluding out the Islamic, the creed of the laws that we have, our divine Constitution, because we go by that too. But let's say too, we still have to be law-abiding citizens and still have to learn the Constitution, this Constitution of America and this land. And you have to know the language
Wow,
and
that
speak how
is
to speak.
Mm-hmm. So, Mr. Will, you said, "Am I claiming U.S. citizenship on my nationality card?" And if you have one from the temple, it says you're a U.S. citizen, first class. That's why I say it's a difference between a first class and a second class. I mean, if you're here, if you're not here, if you decided to leave here and go somewhere else, they could care less about you proclaiming anything out loud because you still gonna have to go by their rules and their laws. So leave here and go over to the other side of Africa and tell me how that works out without no passport, without no green card, without no visa. You just going to proclaim, saying, hey, this is my land, this is my earth. That's it. Man, whatever. Dang, what? Okay, it's long.
So,
I'm
sis,
just saying.
have you started the process? Have you started your process where you can because okay, so with my passport is you got to have dual citizenship.
With your passport, do you have dual citizenship?
No, that's the
That's what you
passport
said?
that I'm trying to receive now.
Islam
Yeah,
goddess,
like
can
did you
y'all
switch
hear me?
over your passport? Islam.
I don't know. Islam. Noble, you were gonna say something?
It tapping in on what she's talking about with the passport. For one, if you fill out your passport correctly, your passport is supposed to actually you're supposed to get like I believe a 5 stars, 3 to 5 star passport. And the reason you're supposed to get that is because you're not supposed to fill it out in the manner they're telling you. When you look at everything from a legal standpoint, you got to pay attention to the spelling and capitalization of everything. When you say that you're a citizen, the citizen you're claiming to be is with a capital C. The citizen they get you to proclaim
Mm.
is with a lowercase c. A lowercase c citizen is a state created office. It is an entity, technically in a state or a state office, which is bound by the state laws and legislation codes and ordinances. The citizen you want to proclaim to be is an uppercase C citizen, which is a living, breathing being, an eternal being, which puts you on the 3 to 5 star passport under the do not detain, which gives you the freedom that everybody wants to proclaim. The reason you do so is
So
because you
that's
are not
crazy.
part of the state created offices. You are a living, breathing being that has a nationality, which makes you a authorized representative or agent of the state that the state has created. This gives you the power that everybody is looking for. This puts you in the position that everybody wants to be in, where you can go freely back onto the Constitution and following the laws that they tell us to follow. That is the supreme law of the land, the Constitution. Under Article IV, it explains that um, basically all the treaties that our ancestors have created with these people keep us out of those state codes and ordinances, which gives us the freedom to roam the land as travelers like we are, which puts us in the position of a CO, controlling operator over land, air, water, and space, or what they say, a owner of the lands under Allah, right? You are a citizen, but you're an uppercase C citizen under the Almighty. The Almighty has granted you permission to travel these lands freely without hindrance in your pursuit of happiness. And the thing that the goddess brought up earlier about proclaiming your nationality outside of the temple, this is why I said notice the agent is notice the principle, and notice the principle is notice the agent, is because you're supposed to notify
Mm.
all of the instrumentalities of the congressional, right? 28 USC 3002, subsection 15, which informs you that the United States is a federal corporation or a federal person, right? So when you're contracting with this federal person, because that's the only way they have jurisdiction, right? You decide to contract, because other than that, they don't have jurisdiction. The only jurisdiction they hold is in 10 miles of DC, the the other instrumentalities, which are the rich ports of Puerto Rico and the Mariana Islands, right? Outside of there, they don't have any jurisdiction. They don't have any power. That's not where it holds. Other than that, it's all contractual. Huh? Right
Hmm.
now, I'm
So
still
you
at
saying
10,
we
but
have
once this kick in,
persona?
we should be about at 8. Yes. Can you please repeat
Keep
that? My
going out.
nurse was trying to verify information. I'm sorry, y'all.
No,
No,
I
it's
was
okay.
asking, when you okay, you're speaking about jurisdiction. So when you're speaking about jurisdiction, so I'm reading, there's three types kinds of jurisdiction, which is like the authority, the power, and control. So when we're speaking about subject matter jurisdiction and territorial jurisdiction, there's something called a personam jurisdiction, and this is what we have to become like a natural person. So this involves the power to subject a person to certain particular classes, and we how they render certain decisions and judgments and stuff like that. But when you have personam jurisdiction, that actually just applies. It applies to us to be the natural person. So they don't actually have no one actually has jurisdiction over you if you have
So
already claimed your rights as a person.
yes, yes, basically, and then you're utilizing the incorrect words, goddess, because you are not a person, right? Because legally, in the any dictionary, when it comes to legal terminology, you would not fall under the word person. Person means everything but you. So it's a corporate entity, it's a public private entity, it's a partnership,
Person.
it's an association, it's a corporation. A person is an artificial person, a fictitious entity, right? The United States is a person. This is why I said that under subsection 15 of 28 USC 3002, they consider themselves a federal corporation, which would mean a federal person is something you can contract with, right? So you yourself is not a person. You're a woman. Technically, in law, you're a lord, right? Because in law, a man is just someone who contracted with Lord, right? Who did the man contract with? They contracted with their mother because their mother was the portal, the person who brought them into this world. They contracted with them to be allowed to be brought into this physical plane. So Lord would be woman, right? So you're a woman. You're not a person. No matter how you look at the word person, and trust me, I've studied
Okay, so
that word for
the
months.
verbiage.
That word don't lead back to us.
It's long. All right.
Okay,
It's
so that's
long.
what it
Even when you
says.
study the word
It
woman
says
in
is
law,
it
woman don't attach to person, but man
that
does.
doesn't. Yeah. Mm-mm.
We weren't always called women either.
So that's what we have to understand the wording. So when they're saying man, not to get caught up on physical man.
I'm sorry, you kind of went in and
Is
out.
that
I
what
don't
you're
know if
saying,
that was
brother?
just my side or your side, but can you repeat
No, I
that?
said
You kind of went in and out.
whenever you're speaking on when they speak on man, when they keep saying man, not to get caught
Mhm.
up so much in the physical form of a man. They're speaking on just the entity, a man, and not saying woman, because
Yes,
woman was added.
yes. Woman is like I
I was
said,
just happy.
woman is not tied to the word man and it's not tied to the word person. But if you dig enough, you'll find out that woman is the only thing that is not considered a corporation whatsoever. Woman is the only living, breathing thing. I found woman tied to the word Lord, but I have yet to find it tied to the word man, person, any human, none of that.
I wrote that down
Mhm.
somewhere too. It is. I looked up that word. Sister Tay, you had me look up that word, what woman is, once before. Remember?
Because we weren't always
What?
called that. We were not always called
Right.
that. Girl, I don't even remember where my notes are for that. Ooh. Let's see. Hold on. I got so many notebooks. It's crazy. Hold on. Let me see. I do remember that. We just spoke about that not long ago. Let me see. I don't know where it would be because we did dig into that. Oh man, I should have been ready. Let's see. Oh, Noble Brother Will wants to know whose law are you referring to?
Um, I'm referring to the law of the land of the United States Congressional right now.
Did you hear that, Brother Will?
The law of the land of the United States Congressional actually governs all instrumentalities of the United States Congressional. So it doesn't matter what state of you're in, which anybody who has studied enough will realize that any state of is just a state of mind, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because the state of Georgia basically would just be a congress of the people's minds. As you notice when
Mm-hmm.
you go to court, they try and charge you for harming the people, hindering the people's um, happiness. But
Yeah,
in
because
all
state really means
actuality, they
people.
can't do that.
State means people,
Yeah,
correct? In law. Like
yes.
if you look at the
So
mhm.
all the courts are just agents for the people. They just speak for the people. But at this point, they're working fraudulently because they're working under Title 18, 241, 242, where they're depriving the people of their constitutional rights. They're depriving you of the right to travel by making you go get a license. They're depriving you of the right to have privacy when it comes to your private conveyance because they're trying to get you to register your private conveyance.
He says, Brother Will said, man is person. Didn't you just explain that? You said that was the only thing you could find
Yes,
tied to it? Yes, that's what he
Yes.
yes,
said.
because
So
Man is
women
the
don't
okay,
tie the
so
person.
woman's not
to the
tied to
women
person.
don't tie the person.
Woman's not
No,
tied to person. Yeah. Man is tied to person,
yes,
which is fictitious,
fictitious.
definitely.
And when you look into when you actually follow, you can go to Law Carnell and pull up the law that I told you about, 28 USC 3002. I want to say it's like somewhere between subsection 5 through 9, somewhere in there. They
Can you repeat
explain
the
to
one more
you what a.
time? One more time?
You said what now?
Repeat that one more time, Noble.
28
28.
USC 3002. And
Okay,
when
and you
you go
said the
down to like
primary.
subsection, when you go down to like subsection between 5 and 9, you'll find the word debtor and person, right? A debtor is just a person who owes a debt. So you can click on the word debtor and it'll actually say that debtor means a person who owes a debt. Then you can go back to the code, click on the word person. Person will break down everything. And y'all correct me if I'm wrong. I know I probably got the lowest grade in English from freaking kindergarten all the way up to my college years. I averaged around a C, maybe a low B in English.
Uh-huh.
But when I was taught in English, you can't use a word to define a word. Am I wrong?
Not wrong.
So if you ask me what's a cookie, and I say, well, I don't know, a cookie is a cookie. It's a sugary cookie. That's not a definition for the word cookie,
Dessert.
right?
Right.
So thank you, goddess. The word for the definition for cookie would be a dessert, a sugary dessert, right? Because you can't utilize the word or the verbiage within its own definition. So when you look at the word person, it tells you a person is a person or a natural person. And then it breaks down corporation, entity, a state, association, partnership. Then it says private or public entity and an Indian, an individual Indian. So that right there informs you that Indian is a misnomer within itself for the original people of
Mhm.
the land because an Indian just means what? A corporation now. It's tied to the word corporation. It's part of commerce and amity. So you're not an Indian. Why? Because an Indian just means individual Indian or Indian tribal government. How is an Indian a whole government? How is one person a whole government? That lets you know right there that Indian is also a misnomer. You keep digging into all these words, and all these words that I just named are going to lead you back to the word person. Then when you
Person.
keep digging into the word person, it's going to eventually explain to you that a person is someone that has certain rights and obligations to the laws or the state where it was naturalized, right? So if you keep digging into that word person, you're also going to find the word fictitious and artificial.
Artificial.
Again, I'm not the most intelligent when it comes to English. All my good grades came from math and science, but I was taught that fictitious and artificial are one and the same, and it both means fake,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah, it
So if a
does. It does.
person breaks down into fictitious or artificial person, what does that make a person? Something fake, something that does not exist, something that is only utilized to create an image that someone holds power over you, right? So if we're actually looking into this and understanding this and fully trying to comprehend this, would this or would this not mean if I put the word natural in front of person, that's an oxymoron, right? It's the same thing as like a sovereign citizen, because a natural person would just mean a natural artificial thing. Something
Mm.
artificial or fictitious can't be natural. So you cannot apply the word natural in front of person and then try and say it's a living, breathing being. It's a man or a woman. It's not. According to English, that's not how that works.
Mm-hmm.
So now we have this natural, artificial thing that they're trying to label you as. This is why I always deter people from claiming to be Indian,
Mm-hmm.
because the word Indian ties into all of this. It leads right back to this artificial or fictitious person again,
It contracts back into the same state.
back into the state's hands. Because the
Hmm.
whole goal is to have you believing that you are that state created office that they have jurisdiction over. They don't have jurisdiction over you, they have jurisdiction over your person. The better way I could think to explain this is when you're dealing with a cop, what does that cop always ask you before frisking you? Do you have any weapons on your person? On your person. Why is he speaking about your body in third person? That's because he has no rights to frisk you. He has no rights to search you
Yeah.
because of that Fourth Amendment. But when you say, no, I don't, and he asks you, do you have a problem with me searching you? Now he done flipped it, and nobody pays attention to those statements. First, he asks you, do you have any weapons on your person? And then he says, can I search you for my safety? How do we go from you asking about my person to now you're trying to search me personally? This is the verbiage we got to pay attention to realize that they're trying to trick us into their jurisdiction and trick us into contracting.
Because a lot
So,
of the time, the federal. I'm sorry, Tate. It's okay.
no, go ahead.
So, um, okay, by us being a Moorish American, Muslim, or citizen with a lowercase c of the land, it says, okay, the federal administrative courts, they lack natural jurisdiction to adjudicate any matters involving you. So you are a sovereign, and the legislative statutes used by the federal and state governments to persecute ignorant individuals who does not know how to apply the free constitution.
And
So
competent individuals.
yes,
But the other thing is that the question you're asking, you have to ask in a different manner, because a lot of people don't realize that being a sovereign individual don't exist actually, right? When you look into
right.
sovereign, you find out it ties to sovereignty. Sovereignty is just a power. It's a power that the state created office actually holds that you have the ability to utilize. Sovereignty is just a power that you have. You have sovereign powers, which gives you the freedom to work under the Constitution.
Mhm.
So once you actually grasp the power of the Constitution and everything tied to it, because again, on the Article IV, it explains that the treaties all together, all the treaties and all the constitutions is actually what governs the land. So the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, the Treaty of Makash, all those treaties, the treaties with the Cherokees, the Choctaws, and the Constitution is actually what governs the land. Anything, and then I'm gonna point out that it's 333 where I'm at. That that's that's
So
that's powerful.
we
So
go
Well,
trouble here.
it's two.
with
What?
all
It's two,
that
three, four.
that actually governs the land. They're trying to trick you into a lower level of the state level, which everybody is supposed to be governed by the federal level, and to also tie in with what's his name? Will was asking about having the power to govern yourself. You
Uh-huh.
yes, you have the power to govern yourself as long as you know exactly how to contract with yourself, but your contracts with yourself must be in accordance with the supreme law of the land. To better point out is that under the Constitution, under the Ninth Amendment, you have the right to self autonomy, but your self autonomy must not hinder the pursuit of happiness of anyone or anything around you. So, as long as your self autonomy and your contracts agree with the supreme law of the land, there's not jack they can do. You can privately contract with yourself. But the thing is that I inform everybody of is you must contract with the federal corporation too. So they are informed of the stance that you are taking. This is why I brought up notice the agent is notice the principal, and notice the principal is notice the agent. You also
Mm-hmm.
want your private contracts, but you want your public contracts. You must publicly contract with yourself and inform the agency of your laws, your legislations, your religious belief, your spiritual practices, and all this. So that this way, when they attempt to contract, they're not breaking any of these,
You're right.
yeah, your rights, any of these governing laws that you decided to apply to thyself.
So
So
if
if
you
you're
Right.
okay, so
working with,
if you hire
go
a
ahead,
lawyer,
Goddess.
if you hiring a lawyer or an
You
attorney,
fucked up right there.
you to represent you, you giving basically you didn't gave up your birthrights. And you
Yep,
and you have given away your jurisdiction to the court. Once you go over that bar,
yep.
you and they always explain that you need to get a lawyer. You can't represent yourself. You're giving someone else authority and power and jurisdiction over you in the
Literally,
court.
you contracting with them and giving them power of attorney. When you accept a lawyer, they are now the attorney in fact. You are the attorney in fact. You are the agent and representative. You are the authority. Why would you give somebody else authority to why would you give somebody else the authority to represent your estate?
Right.
If
That
ones
that's the
don't
thing
know,
that you messed up in the statement right there. You said if you get a lawyer
yeah,
to represent yourself, that lawyer is not representing you. That lawyer is
he's
representing the
representing the
estate.
court,
The state, yes.
the state,
He
your
represents
state.
the
Iman,
estate.
I want to say this. When I went to proclaim mine in the court, I never went past, I didn't go over the thing. She made sure I stayed behind it. So what I'm saying, like, she made sure I stayed behind the bar. I never went in front of it to go to her or none of that. I stayed at my seat.
Yeah,
That's
you
fine.
stop at the bar. The
No, I
best way
didn't
I
even
can
go to the
explain
bar.
it. That's what I was saying. You're supposed to stop at the bar. You're not supposed to step in that bar. The
Mm-mm.
simplest way I can explain it is when you show up to their courts, right? This is how I like to try and give people. Everybody's a sailor right now, right? Why? Because
Mm-hmm.
commerce is amity is the waters. That's the water jurisdiction, right? You can have the
Mm-hmm.
controlling operator over land, air, water, and space, right? Their
Mm-hmm.
jurisdiction is within the waters, right? So you're a sailor, right? What do you do when you come to the land? You stop at a docking port, right? That's the
Yeah.
courts. The courts is a docking
Mm,
port.
that's
The
the
docket.
docket.
When you get up to that bar, when you get
Yeah,
up to the bar, that's you getting off your ship and stepping up to the
Into
the
that
docking
water.
system to get your docking numbers and all that, right? So if you go cross that bar, you done got off your ship. Why are you getting off your ship? That docking member is supposed to come to you to bring you your docking information so you can port your boat there. Why are you getting off your boat to go into their offices and things? You're not supposed to. They're supposed to come to you.
Yeah.
Islam. Islam.
That's the main reason you never cross that bar, because once you cross that bar, you done stepped off your ship into their docking ports. You don't go in 7-Eleven and tell the cashier what you want to pay. Why? Because you're in their jurisdiction now. They already got all their pricing and everything set up in 7-Eleven. So you can't go in there and go get a slushie and say, yeah, I only want to pay you 25 cents for the slushie. They got their prices. They got their laws. They got their legislation. They got their rules. You cannot go in there and tell them how you want to conduct business with them inside their store. That's their store. Same concept when you go into court.
So
You
basically,
don't
you
step
consider
inside
to be
their
a
store.
client.
You said what?
What'd you say, Sister B?
So you become a client.
Yeah,
I said
basically.
when you walking into court, you become a client and you consider to be wards of the court. You know what I'm saying? Especially with the relationship with the
Yeah,
attorney. You now are you're their client.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
because you gave
everybody
your.
has to realize that
Mm.
that you said what, goddess?
I said because you gave yourself over to them. When you said represent you, now they are, but they ain't. Like he said, they are not representing you.
No,
Okay.
they're not. Your goal is to meet them at their door in common ground and come up with a contract that is beneficial to all parties. If the contract is not beneficial to all parties, then the contract is void. It's null and void. It's not a solidified contract. So when you go into court and they're trying to take you in as the pound of flesh, that contract is void, right? Because that contract don't benefit both parties. You're becoming an indentured servant and they're getting paid. You're just losing time. How is that beneficial to both parties? It's
That's
not.
true.
But if I was to tell you how the court game actually works and inform you that when you step in there, you're actually supposed to be giving up your bond for them to cash out, which your bond is your birth certificate. You're supposed to be giving them the defendant in question so they can cash out on the bonds and you walk away with the equity, right? And then the claimant who made the falsified claim is supposed to take the liability, but you, the judge, and the clerk is supposed to walk away with a check. Don't that sound like all parties are benefiting?
It does sound like it. But
Islam. So
Because
they owe you.
the real criminal, yes, they owe you for every time you stepped in court. They owe you because the real true criminal is the one making a falsified claim, which is the prosecutor. The prosecutor is who's supposed to walk away with the liability because he falsely tried to charge your account. If you have, like, for example, you went to Belts, right, and you swiped your card for let's just say a couple of outfits and a belt, right? But then 2 days later, you see an extra charge on your account, right? Where did that false charge come from? Isn't the person who made that false charge going to get in trouble? So why isn't the prosecutor getting in
Yeah, they're
trouble
now
for his
considered
false
liable.
charges? You
that's
say
real.
that word one more time. They're now considered what?
Liable.
So don't that mean that person should be taking the liability?
Yeah.
Islam.
You're the
Yeah.
beneficiary, the true agent in fact, and attorney in fact. So anything with that all caps name on it, you actually have control over and you're owed for it, right? So every time a bond is created, you owe for that. I don't care if it's a performance bond, bid bond, surety bond, whatever it is, that bond gains equity, right? You're supposed to get the equity because it's owed to you. You're the owner of the account. So every time that account accumulates equity, you should be getting cut a check. This is why they want you to take a lawyer. So that this way, that lawyer is actually the power of attorney, and he gets all equity. He cuts that check with the courts.
Mm. Sense.
Okay.
Makes so much sense right there. Wow. Wow. Wow, that makes sense. All right. Yes, Islam. Oh, man. All right, let's go. Um, Brother Will said he was born with
That's why
sideways.
Georgia don't like.
But you, at this point, I'm gonna be honest, y'all. It really doesn't matter who likes who. This is why things are happening. The states gotta go have to handle their own stuff. This is why Donald Trump is doing what he's doing. We gotta understand what we need to do though in this space because it's giving us rights back to ourselves. If we ain't goofy and so caught up in our emotions that we can see what's really going on. If other people doing things in the in a respectful manner, we're going to see some things change for us as a nation, period. Period. We're going to see that happen for us. So
The simplest way, Goddess, I can put it for everybody is, like you saying, we all do need to come together. But everybody, I don't care if you put it on a piece of napkin, literally. Everybody literally needs to write up something just saying that I am here as the true living flesh, nor am I not breathing, but I am living and on land. And that I am a true title holder, descendant of the true owners of the land. And I am here to proclaim my nationality. Put a thumbprint on that motherfucker and send it in. Because if everybody denounces that state created office and claim to be the actual attorney in fact, and we all send it in, these people will have to actually sit down and respect that they have no actual power. Right now, the only reason that they have power is because everybody is running around claiming to be that driver's license or that real ID that's in their pocket. Nobody is really actually claiming to be who they are supposed to be, except for you all who are in the temples. We need majority of our population to actually realize the power that we hold and proclaim that power. As long as people are running around giving that license, when they say, "Do you have a driver's license?" and they give that license to them and say, "Yeah, this is my license." Because basically, when you do that, you're saying, "Yeah, this all caps is me." So that's giving the trustee the position to take the beneficiary spot. Because that's what the judge do. If any of y'all got a traffic ticket, you got to go to court. I dare you to go in there and tell that judge that when he asks for that all caps name, that it's him.
you ordered it.
That judge gonna get up off that bench and walk out the courtroom on you.
He ordered it. Yes, Brother Will, we do teach this. We're actually going to start on Mondays. I'm not sure where you are, but on Mondays, we will be in person in the West End at a small cafe where Brother Noble will be coming on, Sister Bashira, because they're in other states, but we'll also have some people here in Georgia that will be there also. But yes, we will be teaching on this, but we teach on this all the time, Islam. Go ahead, Brother Noble.
Islam, yeah, I'm on TikTok as Noble. What I change my name to? Noble Joker and Harley Quinn.
Come on,
And
Harley.
me and my wife be up there all the time teaching, and we constantly teach these things when we get time to. I'm in the hospital right now, but I believe I got my laptop. I'm actually about to get up and get it because now that I'm back sitting in the room and I got my medicine, I can move around a little bit better. I was gonna get the laptop and see if there was any way I could kind of share the screen with y'all and start showing y'all some of the things that I'm speaking on.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm about to try plugging my laptop up
And Sister Vishara, so with our what he's saying, if our people could really gravitate to that, because it's important that our people do correctly. You back on here again? Okay. I don't know what's going on, but let me see. I'm gonna have to take you
Take
off
me off
the.
of one.
I am, because you know it's gonna be making all kind of noise. Okay. Oh shoot.
Is it still echoing?
Oh no. Okay.
Hold on.
Wait a minute. Kick. Just that one. There we go. You back? Okay. You want to say something now? Brother Will asked if we tied it. Yes, and more will be going on. I was telling him for Mondays at the restaurant, we will be in person and also online for you guys to come on and help expand on this. It's important. It's just important with everything.
now.
Everything. Mass deportations, the DEI, all that. None of that ever benefited us. So as much as it has stuff in there that it says it did, it never benefited us as so. We do need to know this. We do need to get into this. Dang, you win again. Hold on. This one keep falling off the stage.
This one?
All right. We need to know this so that we can come together. We can get together. For those that are on this, everybody's not on this energy. So we know everybody ain't coming. The masses ain't gonna do this. We know this. All here in Baltimore, yeah, definitely. I'll make sure that you get the invite and everything so that you can come on and do this for sure. I don't know what Brother Noble went, but so we don't get caught up in it, but also knowing where we stand and as a nation where we're gonna be able to do what we need to. They recognize some tribes now. He just recognized some tribe. At the end of the day, I know he said that, but he recognized one. So as a nation of people, if that's being recognized, we know we could be recognized. We're not being recognized because we ain't stepping up the plate to be recognized. We keep talking about the chair we at home. We're not proclaiming it amongst who we should. We're not proclaiming it in the way we should to show and stand strong. You don't see Nigerians come over here talking about house. No, they Nigerians when they walk out the door. They put on Nigerian clothes, they wearing their head. You're gonna know who they are. So
Once they cross that border, they're white.
of course, but when you look at white identification, what does it say? White is the original person. It says original people. North Africa and the Middle East.
They won't let me turn my camera around and put it on the laptop.
Who they are. No, you have Hispanic, you can't be, if you're Mexican, you can't be an if you, I don't know what that is. But when they need citizenship to become citizens, that test is to y'all. So I have many clients from many different places. And a lot of them, they came over here from Africa or wherever they came from, talk about taking citizenship and having to know about the Constitution, knowing more than we know about ourselves. So when they come and they can proclaim to be a first class citizen, they look at us as second class, and guess what? We get the mistreatments that they bestow upon us because they know how to proclaim who they are. Period. So we always want to look at somebody, they mistreating us. They're doing this. No, you're doing it to yourself because you're not saying who you are. You're not stepping into the lane of who you are. Ain't got nothing to do with nobody else. Yeah, but you have nothing. It's you. When are you gonna learn about you? And when are you gonna step up the plate and be you? Instead of looking for everyone else to guide you and take you to this place, it's not going to work. Islam.
No.
What was you going to say, Brother Noble?
I was like, you're contracting, you're agreeing to this.
Yeah.
You're not setting the standards. You're not changing anything. You're not making any arguments to fix anything. Nothing.
Hmm. I don't know where Sister Vashira went, if she's coming back or what, but I know you wanted to show some things. I don't know if you are. Will you be able to share anything to the screen?
Nah, it's not letting me flip my camera around.
It's not okay. I kind of figured that it's probably because you need to be on and then share the screen with us. I don't know. For some reason, it does weird stuff. Like on my tablet, I can't share the screen, but on the computer, I can.
Hmm.
But maybe you could come back and we can reconvene like for tomorrow or let me see where she at. This might be her. Oh, she's still here. Oh, she is still there. Okay. Um
Yeah,
yeah.
because I had a document that I had created utilizing the information from the Chicago mayor, Raheem Emanuel, that fully breaks down what I was talking about with the word person in the state created office that I kind of wanted to show.
Okay. Dang, you can't turn your phone probably ain't gonna grab it, is it? To where we can really see it.
Mm-mm.
So Raheem Emanuel, which I did look into him, you said he explains person?
He explains the state created office down to a T, and I had took his document, and like made it as simplistic as possible,
Mm-hmm.
so that any and everybody would be able to understand it better.
Okay, all right. All right. Will Hardy said they all check white. It's not they don't see nothing else that relates to them when they're looking at it. Like that doesn't relate to me. So the closest thing they can see is that.
Like,
Creative Springs and Raheem Emanuel. Where did you? Oh man, I wish I knew. I need to be
I
having
will
all.
send I'll send you a document, guys, because it's harder to find. Ever since I got on TikTok and showed everybody, you're not gonna really find it like that. But I don't know if y'all
Really?
can see that this says affidavit of truth and sovereignty of Noble Clay Anthony Johnson Ali, separating a state from living flesh slash legal counsel.
Oh wait,
And
are you
I
there?
completely
Now I can see. Go ahead now. Can you everybody see that? I hope you can see it.
and I literally completely break it down, explaining the whole purpose of life and liberty and everything.
Can you
I
read
don't
that
know
on
if
me?
y'all could. Life, liberty. In the intricate web of legal terminology and contractual obligations, it becomes paramount to assert one's inherent rights and status under the law. As we navigate through the labyrinth of statutes and precedents, it becomes evident that clarity is essential in delineating the boundaries of contractual agreements and legislative control. In light of this, the following document serves as a declaration to revoke all power of attorneys and contracts established during the time of minority, while affirming the sanctity of certain essential contracts through a meticulous examination of legal definitions and constitutional principles. This introduction aims to elucidate the fundamental rights of individuals and the limits of legislative authority. Furthermore, it is underscored that the living, breathing being will henceforth be recognized solely as the beneficiary, appearing under duress only in their proper persona. During a special guest appearance, Siri Juris is the legal counsel. right? The reason I
Mhm.
want y'all to pay attention to this special guest appearance is because there are two types of appearances. You got a special appearance, and then you got a general appearance. A special appearance is when you show up and you test jurisdiction. A general appearance is when you show up to the courts and waive all your rights and fall under the identity of the legal person, right? Separation of commerce and amity and pursuit of happiness. Legal counsel slash living flesh, also known as Nobel Clay Anthony Johnson Ali or Nobel Shado Ali, hereby affirms that the word person in legal terminology is perceived as a general word which normally includes in its scope a variety of entities other than human beings. C. CG 1 USC Section 1 Church of Scientology versus the U.S. Department of Justice in 1979. Right? This
Wait
is
a
the
minute.
exact book
Say that one more time. Church of Scientology, what? Versus who?
versus U.S. Department of Justice. The year
What?
is 1979. Right? You going to look up the book 612F. It's in Section 2D 417. And on the page 425,
Okay.
right?
All right.
So taking a look at definitions, one of the very first of the state statutes will have a section listed entitled Definitions. Carefully study this section of statutes, and you will find a portion that reads similar to this excerpt, and construing these statutes in each and every word, phrase, or part hereof, where the context will permit. The singular includes the plural, and vice versa. Gender specific languages includes the other gender and neither. The word person includes individual, children, firms, association, joint ventures, partnerships, estates, trust, business trusts, syndicates, fiduciary corporations, and all other groups or combinations. Note, however, the definitions statute does not list man or woman, therefore they are excluded from all of the statutes.
You said the definitions. Say that.
You said what now?
You said the definitions are what and excluded from the.
Okay, I'll go back up to the top. One of the very first of your state statutes will have a section listed entitled Definitions. Carefully study this section of the statutes, and you will find a portion that reads similar to this excerpt. In construing these statutes in each and every word, phrase, or part hereof, where the context will permit, the singular includes the plural and vice versa. 2. Gender specific languages includes the other gender or and neither. 3. The word person includes individual, children, firms, association, joint ventures, partnerships, estates, trust, business trusts, syndicates, fiduciaries, corporations, and all other groups or combinations. Note, however, the definition statute does not list man or woman, therefore they are excluded from all the statutes.
That's what I wanted to hear. Mention words.
So, legal definitions and concepts. Under the rule of construction, expressio unos es exclusio alteris. That's Latin. That's part of the maxims when you study the maxims. Expressio unos es exclusio alteris means that if the word is not if the word is not included, it is excluded and it does not apply. Okay? Where a statute or a constitution enumerates the thing on which it is to operate or forbids certain things, it is ordinarily to be construed as excluding from its operation all those not expressly mentioned. Generally, words in a statute should be given their plain and ordinary meaning. When a statute does not specifically define words, such words should be construed in their common or ordinary sense to the effect that the rules used in construing statutes are also applicable in the construction of the Constitution. It is fundamental rule of statutory construction that words of common usage, when used in a statute, should be construed in their plain and ordinary sense. If you carefully read the statute, laws enacted by the state legislature, you will also notice that they are all written with the phrase similar to these 5 examples, right? A person commits the offense of failure to carry a license if the person. A person commits the offense of failure to register a vehicle if the person. A person commits the offense of driving uninsured if the person. A person commits the offense of fishing if the person. A person commits the offense of breathing if
All
the
right,
person.
Islam. So, all right. Oh, Islam. So I see what you're saying. I see what he's saying. All right, Islam. So, more or less, I never heard you mention man or woman. You just kept saying person.
Person.
Wow.
These definitions, these legislations, these codes, these statutes, they never mention the word man, woman, living, breathing being, nothing.
And that's where I'm like, we don't read enough and study enough. Even if we glimpse across it, we're not study, like you said, to really study those definitions. The state statutes have definitions, and we should really be focusing on those. So, as Brother Will was saying earlier, yeah, there is a United States Constitution, and you also have your state constitutions. But in any of those, as you just said, we need definition. We thinking everything's against us. And that right there just can literally knock all this stuff out the park. You don't see that mentioned nowhere in the statute.
And then to show y'all, that's a faded seal of the courts. Nobody has ever rebutted this document. You can tell me I was crazy and I don't know what I'm talking about. Nobody has rebutted these documents to tell me I'm crazy and I don't know what I'm talking about. The way they responded was by saying, oh, you're supposed to have an attorney and that we can't speak with you because we're looking for Mr. Johnson. If I go through all these documents that's tied to this document right here, you'll see where I tell them and teach them that Mr. Johnson is a birth certificate. Mr. Johnson can't speak. You asking me for a piece of paper, and I've already given you the piece of paper. I will go up and show that I submitted an express trust document or booklet that actually accepts the birth certificate for value, tells them how much it's worth, that there's UCC1 in there, UCC3. I even have a document in there that explains to them how they're supposed to actually utilize the birth certificate and cash out and pay all of us.
The best time to be alive, I tell y'all. That's why I just trust our people. I really got they head on the swivel. They got it on swivel. Sister V, you got questions or anything you would like to ask Noble before we close out the meeting?
Okay. So I'm still on this. When it says we're talking about the courts, you said they must. They have to be competent, a competent jurisdiction. So they have to actually have jurisdiction authorization to have a valid process for them to.
To my acknowledgement, a competent court is an Article 3 court and above. Anything below Article 3, which is a
Article
kangaroo
3,
state
yeah.
court,
So it's
they're not
basically it says
competent.
it's a creature of its constitution and be in accord with law of its creation, which is an Article 3 judge.
Yep.
Okay.
Most of these judges that are trying to call you to court within state court aren't actually judges, they're administrators.
So we shouldn't go to court.
Hmm?
So if we get called to go to court, we shouldn't go to court.
I won't say that. Like, I would tell you to conduct yourself in the manner that you feel is best. Always make sure that you're working in clean hands and with good faith. If you do go to court, always make sure that you're making a special appearance and not a general appearance, which I'll pull that up real quick before we go so I can show you. So I can break it down for y'all and let y'all know the difference between the two before we go.
Special appearance. Like a celebrity in this. I'm making a special appearance today. Will we?
So, are y'all able to see that?
I can see it a little. Can you see it, V?
So when you make a general appearance, that's like when you're going into general sessions court.
Nah, general appearance is when you show up to court, period. And okay, look, a general appearance. A general appearance is made when a party first comes into court and appears in the case. The party may come for any reason that recognizes the authority of the courts. Some states follow common law and do not consider a general appearance made when a party comes into court purely to challenge the court's personal jurisdiction over the defendant. This instead is known as a special appearance, right? So a general appearance is when you show up to court, right, and you accept their authority, right? But a special appearance is when you're testing personal jurisdiction, subject matter jurisdiction, and subject jurisdiction. Distinction is notable because in these stages, a general appearance is considered consent by the defendant to personal jurisdiction and thereby waives the defendant's rights to challenge personal jurisdiction or service of process, right? So what you want to do is you want to show up and you want to test jurisdiction. When you test jurisdiction, personal jurisdiction refers to the power that a court has to make a decision regarding the party being sued in the case. So you always want to test jurisdiction when you show up, because when you test jurisdiction, that's your opportunity to make a special appearance. A special appearance is a tool defendants can use to challenge court's jurisdiction over them. If a court does not have personal jurisdiction or there are other errors like a poor service of process, many states allow defendants to challenge the lawsuit without submitting to the court's jurisdiction. Normally, if the citizen were to make a general appearance, the jurisdiction issue would be waived. So you always want to make a special appearance by always testing the jurisdiction. And when you test jurisdiction, remember you want to test the personal jurisdiction, subject matter jurisdiction, and subject jurisdiction. So basically, when you're making a special appearance, the simplest way to put it is you file something more than 72 hours before the court date to test jurisdiction, asking the courts, do they even have jurisdiction? Basically, the simplest way I could put it is like saying it in hood terminology language. So you sending them motherfuckers a text like, bro, what's the fucking problem? And do you even have the power to even fucking call me in front of you? You don't even have authority to ask me to show up for you, bro. Like you don't. You don't have the rights to call me to try and negotiate how much money I owe you. None of that. You don't have that right. And if you do have that right and believe you got that right, on the record, for the record, put that document on record, yo. I need an affidavit showing me that this court has the right to call me in here. Are you God? So you can't call me in front of you to judge me. You don't have that power. You don't have that authority.
You gotta check back. You gotta trace back.
That's even in the documents I was just showing y'all. If I scroll up a little bit, I got a special appearance in that document that basically asks them, what is the subject here? What are we doing here? What is the purpose of this? Do you even have the power over the bond? How many bonds did you create utilizing my name? And have you cashed out? And are you about to pay me?
A lot of people get thrown out, get dismissed because they're challenging in the wrong jurisdiction.
Anything, Sister B? Anything else?
Nope, I'm just taking it in.
I know. I'm like, ooh, I got some studying to do tonight. I don't do too much because I want to study this.
I got some stuff I can send you.
Okay.
If y'all got Telegram, I got a couple of groups where I put books in for everybody to read. Like I tell everybody, all this information is to be told and not sold. But if you need me sitting down helping you create your whole court defense and all that, and spending 2-3 days creating documents, now we talking time, and time is money, and money is time. But other than that, all this information is free. It's out here for y'all to grab it. And I got plenty of Telegram groups for y'all to get in there and spend your time reading the same way I did.
Okay, can you you can send them to me? I put them. You can tell us. You can send it to me, and I can send it to Bashira. Like either way, but yes,
definitely.
I would love that. I want Sister Bashira. His story is so amazing. How he actually came. His name became what it is, and everything. I mean, powerful, powerful, very. And he connected on TikTok.
On TikTok?
That's what we find each other on TikTok.
The universe works in very mysterious ways. I always tell everybody that. There's a divine plan in play. Like y'all seen earlier, the goddess of verify. I've been seeing 333 for about 2 weeks now, and goddess, it done expanded now. Like 1 through 5, I've literally been seeing 111, 222, 333, 444, and 555.
Yeah,
I just been seeing it.
That's why I said this energy shift and the shift that has happened. Let me tell you, it's so time. People are really, you're really going to see. And I want to get to Brother Will's comment. Just be ready to see things you probably. But the way people are acting, you're really gonna be able to tell people world, chaotic world. You're gonna tell by people's energy. That's why I want to get to the Negro, Black, and Colored energy that's in this right now. We start them so pushy, but now the way you're explaining the person and I'm even more why people are so slaves like no other. I wanted to say that, but also I will say so technically on jurisdiction in the District of Columbia.
To explain what he was talking about with the jurisdiction is back to what I brought up earlier. 28 USC 3002 subsection 15, right? Where it breaks down the federal corporation. It says the federal corporation only has power and jurisdiction. Matter of fact, I'll pull it up so I can give you exactly what it reads and break it down for you. Well, I got the laptop open. 2002.
Things are moved around. And a lot of stuff is not there.
So, oops. Can y'all see it?
I can. I'm looking. Just
This
busy look.
literally breaks it down for you, right? Subsection 15, United States means a federal corporation, an agency, department, commission, board, or other entity of the United States or an instrumentality of the United States, right? So, an instrumentality of the United States. Nope, that's not what I want. I want where it says state at, but there we go. State. A state means any of the several states of the District of Columbia, Commonwealth of Puerto Rico, the Commonwealth of Northern Marianas, or any territorial possession of the United States. But it just told you all the possessions of the United States, right? DC, the 10 by 10 of District of Columbia, then the Commonwealth of Puerto Rico, and the Commonwealth of the Northern Marianas, or any other territorial possession of the United States. It just told you all the possessions. Literally.
Literally. Well, you want to ask before so Nova, do you want to give the telegram out or you want to text it? Which is better?
I was thinking I just text it to you because the little code is weird. It's like T.M something. So
Yeah,
I'll text it to you.
all right. Brother Will, if you're interested, you can inbox me and I can get it to you also. But yes, Brother Noble is going to be, he's going to be one that's going to be teaching a lot of this on our Monday.
Okay.
So I just want you guys to know that, we need the young ones. Like they say, the young ones are coming and put the old ones, have them sit down on our feet. We need the young ones to come in so we can rest our feet, elders. I'm an elder, y'all, so
Hey, everybody keep telling me I'm a reincarnated soul.
You are truly. You already know you are. You know you are totally. Yes, you are. So much you are. Yes. Yeah, you can to everyone else. Sister V, I got something else you want to say? On before we step out. Sister, Aaron, is it anything else you are seeing?
No, I was just reading about women. It was yesterday too. It says it in one of the hadiths. It says the Holy Prophet Noble Darley also said, "There is no social organization. It is a divine and national movement. And by you being born here doesn't make you a citizen. One must proclaim his nationality to be recognized as a citizen." And that is when he said citizen. It is in lowercase. It's not in. It's not a capitalization. It's citizen. So when the citizens, if it's all capitalized, that ties you back into a contract.
It's just a capital C.
Just a capital
C. Capital C, that means that you are under your nationality. Lowercase c means that you're a state created office. It means that you're a state citizen.
Okay.
The capitalized C is a federal citizen that falls under the Constitution and the supreme laws of the land.
So when on our nationality card, it's a capital C when it says
it's supposed
citizen.
to be a capital C. The lowercase c means a state created office. It means you're a state citizen. It means you're a citizen of Georgia, a citizen of Florida, a citizen of North Carolina, a citizen of Virginia.
Yeah, it's a capital C. I am a citizen. It's a capital C.
So you're a citizen of the United States of America, the Republic, of the 50 organic states. When it's a lowercase c, you're just a citizen of one of the states of. And a lot of people got to realize that state of is just a state of mind. You can't reside in a state of Georgia, a state of Florida, a state of Alabama. You can't reside there. That's just a mindset, right? But you do have the Georgia Republic, the Republic of Florida. Those do exist.
That's right. Oh wow. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Mm, yeah. I have to study, y'all. Y'all got my brain going. I want to know. Telegram.
As soon as we get down, I'm gonna send the link to you guys. I might just go ahead and create a new group for us because I got a bunch of books that I ain't adding to none of those groups yet, and I might just go ahead and create a whole new group for us specifically.
I think it would be good.
Because I also wanted to. I didn't know if you wanted to be added into the elders group that I had made. That was me, my uncle, and wife. So far, I ain't really had nobody else join in yet. But I was reserving that group for like-minded people who actually are trying to take the steps towards helping our people advance and trying to bring people together.
Yeah. Please put me in the elder group. I'm ready. I'm the elder. I'm ready. It's
Yeah.
work. What'd you say?
I said you ready? You been ready?
I'm ready. He don't even know this. I'm like, ooh, a lot of news to me on TikTok. Like, look, I'm sitting someone with a whole lot of energy. Here you go. I'm grateful for that. Brother Will said very informative information. I was very receptive to all. So he really enjoyed the information from each other because that is my thing. Everyone to learn from each other. I think we all hold a certain hold a part to this. So we're able to help sharpen one another, but how we'll be as a nation.
Yes.
He said weren't state citizens before federal citizens. Did you see that question?
What is it?
It said so we weren't citizens before federal citizens.
Yes, as soon as you was born, right, and that's where the contract started at. A lot of people don't realize that they stole your soul, literally, right? As a baby, they stole your soul. Your parents contracted you, right? Yep. Your parents contracted and gave you up as property to the state off rip because they filled out that certificate of live birth, and then the doctor stamped your foot and created a birth certificate. That birth certificate is what made you a lowercase c citizen to the state of wherever you was born. So, like, I use myself as an example. I was born in New York. My mom filled out a certificate of live birth. They stamped my soul down, and then they created the all caps name on that birth certificate, making me a lowercase c citizen to the state of New York. So the goal was once you turned 18, you were supposed to take that birth certificate, go to your county clerk, and register yourself as a federal citizen due to the fact that you reached the age of majority. You're supposed to cash out on your birth certificate at 18, and if you ended up getting a high school diploma, because if you look up the word diploma, if you look up that birth certificate, you'll find out both them words go back to the word bond. What does a bond hold? A bond holds equity. You're supposed to cash out on that diploma or that certificate or that GED, whatever it was at 18, and that birth certificate and get paid. Why? Because under the 13th Amendment, right? The 13th Amendment says that you can't be held under indentured servitude no more. What was school? Indentured servitude. You was a slave, right? You had to raise your hand just to go to the bathroom, right? So you was a slave. You was up under somebody else's authority up until you was 18. So once you was 18, you're supposed to cash out on these technically receipts or bonds and get paid for your certificate and your birth certificate. Nobody did that. This is why a lot of people don't realize. What do y'all think the schools get the money for your 10-year anniversary? The money they owe you.
What? Oh wow, minors.
They're paying you back with
One
pizza
to
parties
17.
and a
Okay.
10-year prom. That's basically what they're doing. They're paying you back with pizza parties and a 10-year prom, bro. Like, no lie. Because
Mm,
you didn't cash out.
okay. Okay.
You still
Oh,
can
that
go
makes sense.
back and cash out on those things. Because they still
Mm,
collecting equity. This is why they called you back for the 10-year anniversary. Trying to keep you contracting with them. You showed up. You made a general appearance. Now they can write
mm,
down that you showed up. And then if they get you to sign anything, like most of the time they got what at the door? They got something for you to sign so you can get that little sticker or card to put on your chest, right?
yeah, so you can see your
They,
name
they keep
tag.
an attendance. They keep an attendance, right? So now they can write off again. They get another 10 years.
Wow. All right. So when you made a good point when you said that 13th Amendment, because the prophet said that the 14th and 15th Amendment, that didn't even need to be added. But when you just talked about the 13th Amendment and you said majority, because most people still think they minorities even after 18, when that's a minor, that's a child. But you made a clear point when you said majority. The majority. You become majority after 18. You're no longer a minority. Islam. Islam. Okay, remember that.
So at
And
18, you're supposed to claim all that.
yes, at 18. All right, because you're right. You contract. That's why they give you 72 hours to name your baby in the hospital because that's the amount of time that it'll take for them
Tila,
to steal and contract. Stealing them.
Tila,
Yes.
yeah.
Um,
You got 72 hours to rescind that contract. And if you don't rescind that contract is valid. No matter if it's an abstract contract, because an abstract contract is a contract with a high clause, and that makes the contract void. All contracts where they hid anything in there is an abstract contract, and that contract is null and void. But if you don't call them out for the contract being null and void, the contract will stand. This is why your mortgage stands. This is why your car contract stands. You had 72 hours, including with traffic tickets. You got 72 hours. You get a ticket for loitering. You got 72 hours to send that motherfucker back to the state attorney general saying that it's null and void.
so that 72 hours does okay. Because in different African countries, they literally do not name their babies. They name their babies. It takes them like 30 days or more to name a baby because they want to see what that baby now their characteristics are going to be before they place a name on the child. I learned that
Mm-hmm.
some African clients, and it's only because you don't want to put a name on a child that they can't live up to. That's the one reason why they do that. They're like, they just want to see how the characteristics of that child is. But I'm telling you, when I first learned that I gave my children up, oh my goodness, it just tore me apart. I was like, oh, I cannot believe it. So when my grandchildren start being born, I'm like, look, don't you do this, don't you do that. Not that they listen, of course. But it's just, you confirmed all of that. The sole of the foot, the soul. That's what the prophet talks about even in the first chapter of our Circle 7, the Holy Quran. He talks about the soul and the soil. And it's no different. They take that soul, plant it on, and they got your baby. As much as you think they
Yup.
yours. Even when you go register them for school, they got your children.
I got a document that I'm gonna try and make sure that I got ready for next time to show you. You don't actually have to inform your children of this, right? You are now of the age of majority, and you are the most competent heir to whatever family estate you're under. I don't want to say the name online, but
Yeah.
whatever estate you are under, right? You're the most competent. So what you need to do is notice the agent is notice the principal, notice the principal is notice the agent. You need to create a document informing your county, your state, and then the federal level that you are the most competent heir. and naming off just a few of the people that you know you are above due to the fact that you are the most competent. So this way, when they have children, your best friend is Azazel's blade. This is the only way I can think to explain it to people the simplest way. Azazel's blade, if you study religion, is a three-part blade and is one of the most powerful weapons, right? So you have the blade, you have the handle, and you have the pin that holds everything together, right? The blade is your pin, right? The handle is you. The pin that holds everything together is a notary. So every time a child is born, you can amend that document and now say, we're just gonna say baby X has been born on the 15th day of October in the year 2027 and now has been accepted to the estate of the family name. And I, as the most competent heir, shall hold power of attorney over this child, and this child shall not be a ward of the state.
Wow.
And then all you need after that is the social security number and the filing number of the birth certificate, and you put it in that document.
It's long. All right.
So
So
that's
that
literally what I did with all my family.
okay, so that goes back to Garvey. Garvey said it best. Garvey was the forerunner to Prophet Noble Drew Ali. And the one thing I always say, I have many of Garvey's speeches and many things he has said amazingly. But the one that always sticks for me is the pen is mightier than the sword, but the tongue is mightier than them both. We don't even realize how much of the pen, as you keep saying, the pen, as Donald Trump they dropped his pen, the pen will write you out as quick as it can write you in. That's why we need to understand what this is all about. We need to put the pen to the paper. We need to make things serious. We got to become more serious about us because nobody's going to become more serious about us than us. So we got to stop expecting or thinking that they're going to come to our aid and do anything. Right now is open season. It's time for us to get together and do what needs to be done. It's open season. You got 4 years. I promise you. Because if he's the last sitting and no one else sits there, this place is going to be chaotic and crazy. And we need to be the ones back in our positions as who we are. If we are the custodians of this, if we are our forefathers and foremothers without a doubt or contradiction, we ain't got no excuses around this bad boy. None at all. It don't matter if you a felon, if you're not a felon. Everything is being shown that everybody has same opportunity. Ain't no more excuses. So I don't want to hear it. Everything you are stating, things that people have spoke on, we ain't got no excuses no more. Get rid of all the excuses. It's time to get to work, and it's time to take back what's rightfully belongs to us. And stop complaining.
We're gonna have trouble as long as people in the state of mind that they in. Everybody always ready to squabble up, right? But nobody's ready to scribble anything down.
Come on. Well, you know what? It might be 2 or 3 of us that do it, but if maybe 10, but hey, 2 or more gathered together, it's a fact. You know, this thing can happen. It doesn't have to take a whole bunch of people. It just really takes those that are committed and the consistency of getting things done, getting them done. But look, people got
Mhm.
you just ain't gonna come over here once everybody get the work done and think you just gonna live off the fat of the land and you didn't do nothing. That's what I don't have time for. I'm working for the slave Negroes. So all these folks out here that didn't want to proclaim their nationality, didn't want to do the work, we ain't talking to you. You're right. We ain't talking to you because you didn't do the work. But for those that are out here doing the work that really want to get things done, it's our time now. It's our time now. Because our babies, I refuse. I mean, people sit back like as if they got the rest of eternity to figure this out. Our children are going to be here longer than we will ever think to be. And if we going to leave this place for this, it's a shame. We don't love ourselves and we don't love our children. So stop with that we just all in love with everybody. Because no, we're not. If we're not doing what needs to be done to fix the problem. And it can be fixable. The mind state does have to change, but I can't deal with those that still want to stay in Negro, Black, and Colored mind state.
Mm-mm.
Period.
Not at all. Not at all.
No, so that's where we at. Sister Vashara, would you like to say anything? I've said the end of mine because I'm ready to get to work and study. I'm ready to go study these notes.
No, this is Islam.
Okay, Islam.
You said it. You said it, sister. Thank
Okay. Okay, so I guess we can want to expound on that right now or not, because I think you answered that. Do you see that?
Where's it at?
So what now?
Bottom of the chat, it says, I don't get it. It's created the U.S. We're still under the authority of the U.S. as citizens.
For one, he's spelling that incorrectly. For two, he has a misconception of the difference between the United States and the United States of America. The United States is the corporate fiction. That's the thing that I was talking about in 28 USC 2002. That's a federal corporation, the United States. That's the agency, the trustees, the ones that's here for taxation. The United States of America is the 50 organic states, the republic. That's what I was bringing up when I brought up the state of mind. The state of mind, which is the state of Georgia, the state of Florida, the state of Alabama, the state of Tennessee, the state of North Carolina, the state of South Carolina. That is all the state of mind. That is everything that is our instrumentality of the United States. The congressional, right? The 50 organic states. The republic is the Georgia Republic, Florida Republic, the Republic of the Carolinas. The republic is different than the United States. Once you become part of the federal level, you are now a uppercase C citizen. You are now part of the republic. You are up under the Constitution, the supreme laws of the land. The lowercase c citizen is a corporate fiction, a state created office, a person, a debtor, right? That is your person, the thing you control. You are a creditor, part of the organic 50 states. That's part of the land. That's when you took yourself out of maritime admiralty law and put yourself as a controlling operator over law, over the land, the air, the water, and space, making yourself a citizen under Allah's nation, right? You're only, how can I say, superseded by the Almighty, right? When you accept the identity of the lowercase c citizen, making yourself a corporate fiction, you are accepting the agents as your judge, your ruler, and your punisher, violating your own First Amendment right to have your religious belief. Because if you have a religious belief and you believe that there's an Almighty, why would you accept anybody other than the Almighty to judge you? This is why people get all them tattoos on their chest saying only God can judge me, right? Because the only true judge is the Almighty. And the Almighty lies where? Within you. So you're the true judge. You're the true God. You're the true generator, operator, destroyer of your own vessel in reality. That's when you step into what you was talking about earlier of self-governance, right? The Ninth Amendment, self-autonomy. You have realized that you have control over your own pursuit of happiness, right? Once you have control over your own pursuit of happiness, you have stepped out of their fictitious jurisdiction. That's why when you start stepping in the courts, you actually become the judge, because the person who's sitting in that row behind the bench is not a judge. Most of the time, they're an administrator. They're just there to administer what you come in there to tell them to do. Because when you show up to court, you're actually supposed to be stepping in them, telling them that I'm only here under a special appearance so that we can resolve and dissolve all these charges.
Mm-hmm.
So I can get my equity. And the prosecutor for making these false claims has to take the liability. So the judge is only there as a trustee. He's there to administer for you.
So when you, Brother Will, and you know, you're so right. You're right. The U.S. is the fictitious part. United States of America, the Republic. That's what we're returning back to. That's why you have to pay attention to what's going on in government and politics, so you can see where you do fit. Even if the government was to fall today, we still need these things to live by. We were responsible for this Constitution. Our ancestors were way beforehand. Just because you seeing one now doesn't mean we weren't responsible for the original.
Mhm.
52 folks on there, 36 of them look like us. There was only 13 amendments. It's 18 missing pieces from that 13. There's 18 missing years of Jesus that we hold. Come on, man. These 18s, these 13s don't just mean nothing for no reason. 13 is a righteous number. Jesus had 12 disciples plus him was 13. Come on. What is we doing?
Mhm.
We doing that because we want to stay stuck. We want somebody to tell us what to do. He just told you the United States that's the fictitious. United States of America put you as your majority. You're over yourself. So we only operate in that because our state of mind is still lowercase. So
Mhm.
it can fall in a minute. We still need to follow a constitution. You need a constitution for yourself. Like he said, write a note to yourself to say this is how I'm gonna show up. Because the Maya degrees are literally you're holding yourself responsible for everything. I will not harm. I will not hate. I won't. I will not. You're holding yourself responsible. Anytime you talking about thou shall not, you waiting for somebody to come tell you what you should not do when you know better.
Y'all
So,
able to see that?
uh-huh. And what's this one? I can't really see it clearly because it's.
The model Marat state, the model Marat state republic. This is the
Uh-huh.
guidelines to everything before the Constitution. Not only have I created a declaration of contract of peace and friendship between the Immortal Murdoch State Republic, right? Because as you see, introduction of the Immortal Murdoch State Republic, overview of the Immortal Murdoch State Republic as the empire of the Mer people. The Immortal Murdoch State Republic stands as the sovereign empire of the Mer people, whose lineage traces back to the ancient and powerful civilization of the Mound Builders, Moors, and other esteemed nations. It is culmination of centuries of wisdom, knowledge, and cultural heritage brought together to establish a self-governed, spiritually unified society. The Immortal Murdoch State Republic is founded upon the principles of sovereignty for the Mer people, empowering them to govern themselves in harmony with divine laws, ancient traditions, and natural order. As an empire, it is a nation of nations with the power to engage with the global community, protect its people, and ensure prosperity for all members. This republic is not merely a political entity, but a spiritual and cultural framework that governs all aspects of life, from governance and law to the practice of spiritual teachings and the cultivation of personal growth. It stands as a beacon of freedom, unity, and justice, adhering to the highest principles of integrity, compassion, and respect for all life. It breaks down the purpose of the immortal state Marat Republic.
Mm, okay.
This is the declaration of it. I'm gonna see if because I'm not sure if my laptop has the constitution and everything too. But I got a constitution and everything that I created.
And
I
you should make
create.
Ayurvedic school. It says that everyone should have a constitution over themselves. You should write a constitution to govern your own body, to govern you, to say how you'll show up for this.
Oh yeah,
Brother Hardy, I'm not
I'm
sure.
just
Maybe,
pulling things up
huh?
right now. I said I'm just pulling things up right now. See, affidavit of fact, notice, constitution, and oath of MERS and of a model. This is the Constitution right here. And not only did I prove, not only did I do the Constitution and everything, I showed who I was governing with and showed that they're a corporation. This is their DUNS number right here. This is the Supreme Courts of the United States DUNS number.
Mhm.
Then when you come down, now we're at the introduction of the Constitution. We seek nothing more than a chance to live freely and explore the avenues that the divine has provided, including our herbal remedies. We hereby affirm our sacred rights as living, breathing individuals bestowed upon us by the Almighty, not as privileges granted by any government institution as sovereign beings. We pledge allegiance solely to the Almighty and the principles of natural law, embracing love, peace, freedom, truth, and justice. We recognize the supreme law of the land as our guide. Through this declaration, we aim to elucidate the laws and legislation governing duties and obligations, asserting that these statutes uphold the freedoms and rights inherited to every living soul. Our goal is to assert these rights not as privileges subject to revocation by the state, but as a fundamental aspect of our existence. Now here comes Chief Nobel Nightwing, also known as Nobel Clay Anthony Johnson, the man of the land, speaking on behalf of the Indians of Amaru, reserving all of our given rights by Allah/all law. And that's the preamble.
Okay, that's a preamble. He says, respectfully, I respect your wisdom. I'm just not into man's law. I don't study it. I focus on the authority I have over self. Again, respect your wisdom. Salam. Yeah, I mean, like you said earlier, everyone has their perception. And that's the route that you will go. That's for you. And if that works for you, then that's fine. But we also know that there are a lot of us that are, we understand what it is to build as a nation and to come together. That a nation rises no higher than a woman. It's just not gonna rise no higher. I don't care if you're doing it yourself or whatever. If there's nothing there to support it, it just ain't. So I'm not sure what.
Goddess, I think he misunderstood what the purpose of what I was saying was. Now
Yeah.
here comes Chief Nobel Nightwing, also known as Nobel Clay Anthony Johnson Ali, the man of the land, speaking on behalf of the Indians of Amaru, reserving all our given rights by Allah/all law.
Mm,
I don't think he realized that I'm placing us back up under the Almighty's law.
law of the land. Hmm. We have to get back to that, brother Will. Like, there's no, until we get back to that and we know that. That's why I say that fruition. We gotta know it and be it. Like, be what we say we know. Walk in what we say. Period.
Yeah.
It's taking us back to Allah, the rightful place where we should be. I don't know how that takes. We still have to govern ourselves. We're still a republic, regardless of what you keep saying. U.S. So you're still only focused on man's law. That's all that you're focusing
Because you're supposed to be putting USA, my boy,
on. Mm-hmm.
not US. US is the corporation. United States, in all caps, is the corporation. Commercial law, commerce, unanimity, law of the waters. We're looking to put us back on the land, law of the land. We're the
Mm-hmm.
controlling operators over not just land, but also air, water, and space.
So I want to show this before we get out of here. I'm going to show the picture. I show it all the time of the prophet on the front of here. He just said putting us back on earth. The prophet's right here, upholding the sister in his arms, humanity. Because, like I said, the nation can rise no higher than its woman. And until the mother is placed back up on the solid rock of foundation, I don't care what you're doing with your life and how you're doing your life. Until the mother is raised back up where she should be, respectfully, it don't matter. He got 1 foot in the water, 1 foot on the solid rock of foundation, bringing her up out of the cares of the world. He just told you we got to get back to our earth place, to our land, to come back to reclaim what belongs to us, period. You're not just floating around. So if we're earth, if would you say land, water, air, and space, that's control of everything. And you're just not going to do it just
Laws.
who you are, huh?
It's the acronym for laws: land, air, water, and space. LAWS.
Islam. So the prophet was intentional about everything he did, y'all. Everything he did, he left signs and symbols. Most people just want to read through this because they can make big words and say big words. But it's the mystery behind what he left. This is magic. Magic in your hands. Call it voodoo, hoodoo, whatever you want to call it. This is magic.
Mm-hmm.
Unfold it. But if you don't know how to unfold it and you just breeze through it because it seems simple, you're never going to get it. I read this thing every day and been reading it every day for the past 3.5 years. Been in the movement since 2015. I was not reading it every day, but I read it every day respectfully because I need to eat from this every day to learn not only about myself, but get my energy in alignment with Allah, to truly be in alignment
Mm-hmm.
with my higher self. Islam.
Islam.
So I appreciate the what you're. It's going to unfold even more to people um, as we continue these courses, because a lot of stuff maybe you haven't heard, some stuff you have heard, but it's always good to hear it come from someone that's really sat and really taken the time to study these things and could really point you to different things and say, well, go read this for yourself. And you can study this for yourself to find out what it is you actually need to do. Don't just take my word from it. So Noble's not telling you, just take my word for it and believe everything I said. He's giving you places to go study. He's giving you different sources that you can pull from. So this ain't about nobody being no leader and people coming to follow them. This is why I love Noble, because it's about us all learning, getting to know what we need to know. And that's the same way for me. I'm not looking for no money from nobody. The prophet said to go
Mm-mm.
to all four corners of the earth, because this is a universal message for everybody. But when we don't
Universal.
know America as who we are, then we got to make sure we're teaching this to our people here. It's not a separation. It's to teach them so we can come together. If you want to go fast, go by yourself. If you want to go far, go together. Islam.
Mm-hmm. Islam. I was hoping I could find it before we close out. Because even in my constitution tells you that the emperor and the empress are only here to speak the words of the people, never of themselves, never of their own opinions, but only for the people, to guide the people, to bring the people to the light that Allah shines.
Islam. Islam. I love that.
I'm not here to rule over you. I'm not here to take you from one commercial transaction to the next. No, I'm here to bring you to the shining light that Allah shines to help us vibrate at our highest frequency. If you have to lean on my understanding, then I have not done my job. That is the thing. Like I always tell people, don't understand me. I don't want you to stand under my judgment. I want you to have your own comprehension. I want you to be able to comprehend and be able to turn around and articulate and utilize your own verbiage to go to the next group of people and explain the same thing I just explained to you. Now, if you just gonna regurgitate my information, I didn't do my job, because you only have my understanding to go off of, which means you do not comprehend. You cannot protect yourself due
Mhm.
to the fact that you do not actually comprehend everything that was explained to you. You only understand it. You can only stand under my judgment and keep regurgitating my information, which is not uh, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not conducive for me, nor you, nor your family. Because once you go create your own nation, because every man and woman, once they lie together, they have a child and they're starting their own nation. If you can't teach your own nation, then I have not done my job. I failed.
Islam. Islam. Ooh, that's powerful. That's powerful right there. Ooh. Boy, a lot of these leaders need to hear, a lot of these leaders, these symbols need to hear exactly what you said, because that right there is solid. That right there is solid. Because too many want
That's
somebody under them to be, so they can be leaders over them, and not enough want to sit down and really build with one another to really make this thing work. And I think that's what keeps us stuck in the situation we're in. It's called religious
and that's
slavery.
what Noble was telling us about. Noble was telling us, yo, these people will lead you back into servitude. That's not my job. My job is to bring freedom. Freedom, peace, and overstanding. Not understanding, but freedom, peace, and overstanding.
I love it. Oh, Noble, thank you so much. This was a great build. And we're going to come back. I know you may not be, I don't know about tomorrow. I got to see how that goes. But next Monday, for sure, we will be in the restaurant. I want you to come on. I have my computer. You come on. We're going to learn. We're going to break down. No matter we'll do some dictionaries, whatever you tell us to read. We're going to study it so that we can learn from each other. You're right. Each one teach one. That I'm looking forward to do with everybody, okay? And so send me the telegram, send me the books, the telegram, create the group. We can do this because I'm ready. All right?
I will.
All right. Peace and love, y'all.
Peace and love.
All right. Islam.
Islam.